Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by SaskTel, Viterra, Service Equipment, White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, Asham Curling Supplies, Jiffy Lube, CurlSask, and SaskTel Max.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Affinity Place in Estevan, where we are live for the 2018 SaskTel Tankard Provincial Men's Curling Championship. My name is Sean Joyce. I'm here with Susan Lang and Kim Hodson.
Good morning and welcome, curling fans.
And we've got A-event action all across the arena here this morning. We're going to feature the game on Sheet 2, but as always, we'll try to keep you up to date on all the scores here in this morning's draw. Adam Casey is playing against Scott Bitts on Sheet 1. The feature game on Sheet 2 will be Brock Virtue against Colton Flash. It's Brady Kendall against Brent Geddick on Sheet 3. And over on Sheet 4, directly in front of us, it was Jason Jacobson and Steve Laycock. The two teams had a practice session before the game and drove for last rock. They're just getting set to get underway here, and while they do that, let's meet the teams in this morning's matchup.
Hi, I'm Colton Flash, skip of Team Flash. My third is Kevin Marsh, second Dan Marsh, lead Trent Knapp, coach Bruce Cordy, and we curl out of the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Hi, I'm Brock Virtue, skip of Team Virtue. My third is Drew Height, second is Mitch Height, lead is Jesse St. John. Our coach is Brad Height, and we curl out of the Kerrobert Curling Club in Kerrobert.
And it was the Virtue team that won that draw to the button, so Colton Flash throwing the Yellowstones will be up first.
Well, I'm looking forward to some entertaining games this morning. All the winners out here, let's get at it.
Well, and for those people that have been long-term followers of the Steve Laycock team, they may recognize Colton, who was their second player there, but who broke away late last season and formed his own team. So this is a new position here for Colton to be skip in the house. He hasn't done this since his junior days.
Didn't quite glide as well as I thought it would. Not bad, but
I'm expecting the ice to be nice and fast this morning. All right,
yeah,
here we go, so. Corner guard.
I think it depends on the path you get to. I thought your weight was good. Yeah, so did. Come on, Mitch. I should have never gone off. Come on, Mitch.
And we're also going to be in for a little more fun. I hear we have a bunch of school kids coming in this morning. 400 plus.
You could just. Okay.
I wonder who they're going to be cheering for.
Well, they've positioned them over, a few of them anyway. They've only just started to come in, and they're over on the Sheet 4 side. That's as close as they can get to the Estevan team on Sheet 3.
Exactly.
Wait, line's pretty good. Weight's good.
So we just saw Trent Knapp deliver his second stone here at the end.
Coming down a bit.
Trent had curled a long time with Randy Bryden with his twin brother Kelly, but they're on different teams now, so this is new for Trent to be curling without his brother.
Good judge.
So nicely done, both on the center line there.
Mine's good. Weight's close. Top floor.
When we panned over last night to watch the end of the Virtue Bryden game, we know this Virtue team has no problem putting rocks into play.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're a high-risk, high-reward type of a team. And I think that might be why you're seeing rocks in play already here in the first end. Although, I was down at ice level to mic up the players before the game and heard some of the discussion. They were really keen on watching the ice. Of course, this is the first morning draw. Don't know if it's going to run a little bit differently. They'll certainly want to keep an eye on that.
Yep.
Throw T-line.
T-line weight, boys.
I know I could hear them even counting rotations on the rocks that were being thrown in practice to get an idea of where the finish was. And I happened to be dead in line to Brock's draw to the button when he was trying for the hammer. And I'll tell you what, as much as we can see the finish from up here, to watch it from ice level, that rock that he threw crossed the hog line at about the edge of the 8-foot and finished at the tee line, or at the center line.
Yeah.
So Dan Marsh's freeze attempt here is coming into the back of the rings.
Good rock down, beauty.
And that's key to being able to call the sweep and everything, knowing where that break point is, where exactly it starts to make that big sweep.
Well, I don't think we're going to have a blank here in the first.
Easy.
The last two draws both coming a little deep.
Line's good. You have to, Drew in. Line's good.
So Mitch Height here, same thing, trying to follow Dan Marsh's shot down here into the back of the button area.
I think he'd like to stay in front of the tee line if he could.
Keep it going. Hard boy! Go.
But he wants to be shot rock.
Not quite, I don't think.
Okay.
You feel like hook it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Shot. Not. Yeah.
Just top 8. Top 8.
Okay.
Top 8.
A little less than last one then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Top 8. Weight's good.
Yeah, weight's
top
good.
top 12.
Easy.
Top 8,
Start.
top 12. Top 12.
Line's good. Line's really good.
Line's good. Top 8.
Yep.
Weight's good. Top 12.
Yep.
Right to it, guys. Right to it. Top 8. Top 8. No bounce.
Easy, guys. Easy.
No bounce.
Yeah, Trent, go.
Go.
Looking to come down and sit on this red stone, and actually gets just across the face enough that, boy, that's a great shot. They've got angle to get it past that one at the back.
Yeah, treated to some good shots already this morning.
And the graphic, excuse me, may have said that was Kevin Marsh, but that was Dan Marsh. But it's completely excusable because the two are extremely identical. Even standing next to them, it's hard to tell them apart. Unlike the Knapp twins are not identical twins, and much better there with Kelly and Trent.
Come on, guys. Line's getting good. Line's good. Line's good.
First attempt at this shot we've seen on this intern side.
Yeah,
and
from the other
this
side.
was the side where Brock threw that rock that I was just mentioning. Granted, going the other direction with the big movement and not able to get that by, albeit he was just a little bit light.
Yeah.
You guys like your...
Can we hurt ourselves hitting it? Like,
Can we hurt ourselves at all doing that or not?
I don't think so. We gotta hit it.
Yep.
We could just guard, but I think you gotta hit.
okay.
What kind of weight you like?
Solid board.
All right, Kev.
So going to take away that
You like control
That
first
red
end
one?
or not? Like,
Yeah.
it's not sure what it's going to do down here.
just because it's a rock that can be used by the
Well, that looks
Virtue
like
team.
it.
So they could guard, but I like this call. Take it
There we
away.
Control.
Hair up.
Whoa, go big. Whoa.
Dan.
Yeah, that's definitely more than that solid board that Colton was looking for.
Great.
Gets the job done
That's it
nicely.
across the face, makes that little flip onto the top of zone, and again, now all three of those yellows look to be lined up onto the red, and whether
Sure
or not it
do.
would pass by hitting it from that side, it's hard to tell, but he could probably make both reds go if it didn't.
But there's room to get in here. I think they can get past that very tall or very high red corner guard up there.
And still get in, yeah. Well, that's the big movement that we talk about. Those corner guards can sure get in the way in your draw to the center of the rings.
Line's good. Line's good. Where is it? Gotta go line. Hard line. Hard line. Hard, Jess. Hard. Hard! You gotta go. You gotta go. Come on.
and just rubs coming by. Seems to be a little bit more movement on that side.
And that weight came off very quickly as it was coming in over that hog line. You could just see it going sideways.
Same weight's fine. We got to roll it a little bit.
And they didn't give that a hard sweep at all for the weight. So I think they kind of got fooled a little bit from the hog line in.
Same weight.
Same.
Yep. Hard. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Looking for that same hit here.
Weight.
Whoa, whoa.
Excellent.
Pistol, man.
And does it again.
And probably fortunate on Kevin's first one that he did throw a little bit more weight than what Colton had called for. It still got the shot they made because we're seeing a lot more curl on that in-turn side. So Kevin just repeated that same weight. They didn't call for that solid board again.
Yeah. T-line. Yeah. 2-3 feet more.
Yeah, you can see the ice they're taking to come around.
Well, and with that rock being a rock's width further over in that corner guard where it is, that's a tight port to even get through.
Yeah,
and
I
Jesse
think so
asking Drew here to provide about 3 feet more weight too.
We're to it.
T-line. Line's good.
We're back 8.
Line's good. Yep. Yep. Yeah, line. Whoa. Whoa.
We're heavy.
Whoa. We're by for sure. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mitch. Gotta touch that yellow. Touch that yellow.
So just a foot, 2 feet heavy there.
14-2.
But still, huge finish.
Yeah, it's
I got
the way that
sideways.
drilled, I don't know if he could get by with straight
Which
draw
was
weight.
probably
Yeah.
Close, yeah.
He touched that guard.
Yeah.
Really finishing it too.
Yeah, well, like, he's soft.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
I still think it's gonna move.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So again,
can
different
beat it.
rotations on their handle. That's what, when they were putting that broom down and how it
this
finished,
is
Colton
gonna be
will
a
have
little bit
1 or 2 more turns on his handle than what Drew just threw. So that's what they were talking about on the bit soft, I believe.
So ideally,
Pin it.
And again, this is where the experience of arena ice comes into play. Colton's been out on the circuit now for 6 or 7 years, and he's no stranger to looking at a broom out there outside the edge of the 12-foot and recognizing what you have to do with the rotation and the release of your stone.
Back 8. Back line.
So I don't believe he's past this red
Yeah,
corner guard
Yeah,
yet.
I
not
think
this
the
time.
jinx
I
got
do
because
this.
it looked like when he tried to put the extra rotation on, he popped it out a little bit.
Weight was close.
It's actually,
Yeah, I think the weight was closer than what the sweepers thought it was.
Try to bump that like.
But he was probably out further than where anybody had been even in practice, so it might have come down just a little harder.
Just with like here weight.
Yeah, I think you need through. Like here doesn't do it, I don't think.
I
Well, I guess we only got to move it a
What
sliver.
happens if you lob one in here and try
Like
to
right here?
shot? Yeah, because then the 8 never goes anywhere,
Yeah.
right? Because right now it's not lined up that good. If you ever lobbed one in here and got shot,
Yeah.
never going.
Even if we go like that, then we at least get
Then
shot.
we're shot.
That's pretty
And
good.
I don't think you can get to it.
Yeah, I don't mind that, Mitch.
Stone key.
I think that's close.
I like it, bud.
So they looked at playing the 3 yellow tap onto the red and moving it up just a little bit.
If we do that, just keep going on our shooter.
Because it's not lined up very good right there. What do we do? Just trying to draw for shot. If we can draw around our red one and get shot off.
Why am I throwing this off?
Drew must have threw the wrong ones again.
Sounds like they may have already made a decision to switch a couple of rocks out.
Yeah.
We're full speed, eh? Same as draw? Same as draw.
Yeah. Same speed, buddy. I got a pretty good time, maybe a hair heavy.
Well then. Line's fine. Got room.
Little
Close.
heavy.
Yep. Line.
Back 4.
Whoa.
Weight's good.
Yeah, line. Hard line! Hard line! Hard line! Tight! You gotta go! Gotta go!
Please there! Please there!
Go!
Skip by the red at the top of the forefoot.
Oh.
It's going to just rub off now when he rubbed it. Is that enough to change who's got second shot?
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. In fact, it might even be red sitting 2 right now.
Yeah. And if you knew you could make that to sit 2, you might have played that.
Yeah, really. Not sure. Neither are they.
Try to make that almost. I think you try to do this. If you ever just touch this, not the end of the world, probably.
They just bump it back here kind of way.
I'm thinking like hack.
I think we're gonna like 2.
Suddenly that one
Kind of chipped it over.
yellow back there is a
Yeah, I
little
know.
lonely in the
I don't
back
think
of
it
the
matters.
forefoot.
Like you're not curling past this anyway, so the more weight's probably better almost. Right? I'm thinking more weight's almost better. I'm thinking even board. Trying to get
What's that?
like that, right? I think so. I think board.
That was a nice guard.
Put
I
it
know.
there.
Alrighty.
There's a good look at it. He's hoping to get a roll inside. Boy, there's
Whoa.
not much more than an inch of air there.
Exactly what I
Hard to
was
do
just
that with
thinking. I'm
board.
not sure there's room to get underneath.
Those two are so close together anyway, so it's not like it's nose isn't terrible.
No, it's really
No,
not.
I don't think nose is bad at all.
Okay, so are you expecting this to curl a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Big board.
Yeah. Firm.
Whoa! Whoa!
Big.
Whoa!
Control down.
Whoa! Clean! Whoa! Clean! Whoa! Whoa!
Can't hit this on the outside.
Okay, nice shot.
Shot, flash.
Gets just up to
good.
the nose.
Really good.
It's good.
Doubles there, but I think he would roll too far, and the back yellow is not going to go very far. It's going
Right.
to jam on those reds.
I don't know if that
So
double will spin off the red one.
Are we for sure shot?
I still don't know who shot in there, but
4.
I don't think there's any other way in.
Can you ever hit? You can't really hurt yourself, eh?
Try that.
I think we're 1 and I think we throw for 4. Take a look.
If we're for sure
I
shot.
think we're for sure shot. You say for sure and then we're for sure.
Well, if we hit it into that.
Oh, yeah, it's red for sure.
Okay. Well, let's try that. Let's try to get it
Okay.
right onto that.
There you go. Must have the good eyes.
a couple of them feel like it's red for sure.
Man, I think
Yeah.
If you can make it, you can make it this way.
And then
off
after you've
back
decided
to
that,
eight.
That's what I'm
d-
saying.
is
Yeah,
there any other way to
hit
get
it
in
into
for
the
2?
8, and then it
Well,
goes
you
straight
got
back
the
on
long
3.
run in, exactly like they're showing, or
Yeah, long angle
can you
run
come
is-
around
there's-
those two? In between those two corners, and would it curl enough to get to the
Maybe.
forefoot?
Shot rock. You could,
I mean, all you got to do is get
Certainly
full
wouldn't
4,
be as
right?
risky as this.
I don't think so. You can't.
Maybe a
get
little more.
than 1.
Well,
Steal. We're
you know,
Well,
risk
it should be
reward
straight
here.
here.
You could get 3,
It's about a quarter.
and you
can
could
hit
give
and
up
put it on that
1,
back one for 2.
right? There's no way you can give up more than by running this in,
No, there's no way you can give
right?
up more than 1.
But you could get 3.
You have to hit your own first to do that, because you got to kill both yellows.
Yep. 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 Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Well, that seems to be backing up.
That was
Gonna be really
interesting.
thin.
Oh. Or you could get 2 that way. Oh.
There we go.
Touches everything
Abracadabra.
and manages to stick in the forefoot. Looks like it will be 2 points.
Well, now it, yeah.
So Brock Virtue picks up the deuce in the first end. Colton Flash will have the last rock in end number 2.
Introducing the all-new heated cab for the John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
Welcome back, everyone. We'll quickly update you on all the scores here in this Thursday morning action.
Well, a wide open first end allowed Adam Casey an easy blank shot, open blank shot, so he took that advantage, and it's 0-0 playing the second end.
Well, this feature game, you saw that routine shot for 2. Brock Virtue gets 2 points. Score there, 2-0 Virtue over Flash.
Whole pile of rocks were in and around the 4-foot and button area in the Brady Kendall-Brent Geddick game, and Brent was already sitting one and didn't really have a shot for 2, so he ended up taking 1 point in the first end, and he did have hammer with that. So it's 1-0 for Brent Geddick playing Brady Kendall.
Thank you so much for that replay, Carrie. That was really good. Got to see that one more time. Over on sheet 4, we have Laycock versus Jacobson, and Laycock made a nice draw against 2 for his 1 point. So 1-0 Laycock over Jacobson.
And by seeing it again, had a chance to count, had 3 rocks in the rings that it touched without moving any of them more than about 3 inches. And stopped in the back of the 4-foot in time to get his second point.
Low white.
Well, we see the first rock in the rings, and now here comes the corner.
Do it best, I think.
Yep, get it 2. Get it 2, guys. It looks like it's 2. Weight looks okay.
More and more of these school kids have made their way into the building. One section pretty much full now.
Yeah.
And a half a section across the way.
Good work.
Nice shot.
Yep.
It's a good shot by Trent, because we've seen such big curl off of the center line that if you leave it too high up, it's virtually not in play.
Yeah, we've seen some actually overcurl the rings and not even be in play.
Got a curl?
Well,
Really?
where is it?
You're going to use virtually as
Virtually
adverb
on
in this
Virtue.
game?
Finish. Come on, Drew.
All right, Drew.
Come on, Drew. Split center.
All right, Drew. Go, go,
Split
go,
center.
go, go, go. Keep
Stay on
going,
it.
go,
Stay
go,
on it.
go, go, go.
That's a good spot. Good sweep.
What do you like?
Well, you know, throwing those guards and like those center guards on that one, when the ice curls this much and there's such incredibly late finish, it's that's not an easy shot. You need to know exactly where you're throwing that guard and ice accordingly.
Back 8. I don't mind this. I just back 8. I think might make more sense to get. Well, maybe not. Back 4.
Back 4.
Let's go.
Back 4.
That's good. Yep.
Back 4.
Oh.
Yep. Yep.
Back 4.
Gotta go, guys. Go, Kev. Come on, you got it.
Whoa. Whoa.
I was going to say, it looks like he was tight to the line the whole way there.
Roll it. Roll it.
Okay, great shot. Sorry, they were playing the tick. Nicely done.
Kev.
Great shot. Pistol.
Gets the red center out of the way, rolls his shooter over a little bit. Now that's still probably in the way of an in-turn draw.
Well, both those corners are in the way of an in-turn draw and an out-turn draw, really.
A little more rock switching going on here for the Virtue team already in the second end.
But again, you know, sort of big development in this game, and that shot that Trent just played, that tick shot to sit the 2 corner guards is huge. Like, you have to have that in your arsenal now.
Yeah, I agree.
No, we're tight. Got it tight.
Got to curl to get
Do you
off
think
the
it's more
field.
rock switching, or is Mitch just remembering the ones he's supposed to throw?
You gotta
Well, he
roll
said
it
Drew
off.
threw the wrong one.
Oh, it was Drew.
Roll
Okay.
it. Go. Stay on it. Stay on it. Go, 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 go.
So, you know, that stayed out for a long, long time and actually came in off that yellow corner. So when you're not directly behind the sheet, not quite sure what their rock line was, if he's a little full or if it's just a little different spot on the ice there.
Good.
Board.
Still leaves the shot rock exposed. Dan Marsh now going to make an attempt to hit and roll behind cover.
Weight's good.
Good. Close. Good board. Easy.
Good board.
Close. Solid. Close. Wait, good. Yep. Yes. Good. Whoa. Nope. Yep. 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 Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, right over.
Makes the hit, does jump his shooter across, but I think left it in the hole between the two guards.
Yeah. You like normal, control?
Sure, I think normal.
Yeah, okay.
Although that port looks reasonably wide, you do have to keep your weight up for this shot so that you don't curl past once you do get through the hole.
Yep, no roll.
Makes the port, makes the hit.
Oh, good try.
Back
And
into
even
the
with that
hole on the
weight,
other
rolls
side.
a little bit past the guard, and
Same type of
Same shot.
still another chance for Dan Marsh to make that roll in behind cover.
Yep. Same way.
Hair less.
While all
Yep.
these hits
Same
are
way.
going on, this
Yep.
rock is creeping its way farther and farther forward in the house as well.
Hard. 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 Whoa. Whoa.
Makes the hit.
And right back to the
Same hole.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, great pickup by Trent there. Dan said it threw a little less, or somebody said less weight, and Trent picked it up right away on the sweep before there was ever a sweep call made for the line, just to hold it in case it was a little lighter than what they expected.
Well, on ice this quick and when there's this much movement, these sweepers are going to earn their paychecks, that's for sure.
Well, you have to, if you think you are that little bit light, you have to keep it out there before it catches that big curl.
Yep.
So Drew Height with another attempt to see if he can find the roll behind a guard.
Whoa. Clean. Yeah, whoa. Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's funny, that hole doesn't look real big, but it's to the point, and these are such good players. We're not talking about whether or not he can find the port. It's whether or not he can find the roll.
Yeah. Yeah, that is not a big port.
I don't mind that. Yeah. Control weight, eh? Yep.
Dan, or if Kevin does find the roll here, though, it's going to be under that red, really tight rock just outside of the rings.
No. Yep. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. Whoa.
Got the port.
Oh, nice shot.
A little
There's
bit
a bit of a roll.
underneath the yellow one. Might
And
be a
didn't roll
sliver
far enough
exposed.
for that red rock to really be a factor on the next shot. So that was a great shot by Kevin.
They can make a play on it through the port, but might be hard to hold the shooter.
Well, we get to see it from the other turn.
I think it'll curl hard past the yellow enough that they can keep the shooter in play here. It does have two rocks to roll behind.
Whoa.
Little up. Little heavy.
Might have been a little bit of a pushback at the end, but we know it curls hard coming off the line.
Whoa. Bitch.
Made the port. Does clip the stone enough to get it out of play, but the shooter will roll all the way out. Now a chance for Kevin Marsh to try a come around. They're just trying to make a decision which guard to go around.
Right.
Drew had really nice weight on that shot. It's just that you could sort of see on the release, he just sort of put a little back to the broom there, just making sure he didn't turn it onto the rock. So it just didn't curl up enough there for him.
Right up to speed. Yeah.
Note.
Well, hot.
Note. Wait's close.
Whoa. T.
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 Just T.
Can we go yet?
No. Right.
Well, and that one just wouldn't curl for them, actually stayed on the outside guard. Opportunity now for Brock Virtue to try to get in and undercover first.
Yep.
Whatever he wants to throw.
It's kind of been the story of this end, albeit it started out with hit and rolls. Nobody could quite get in behind cover.
Not
Now,
quite right.
now we're into the draws.
Intern you like?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So playing the intern around their own.
And really here, if you're Brock Virtue, as much as you can't bury anything in that button area, the draw path to the button area is pretty much gone too.
Yeah.
So you bury on the corner of the 4-foot, and you could be looking at a steal here.
Yeah.
If you ever hang a piece and he hits and rolls behind, yeah.
Yeah, let's throw the out turn. No, I want to throw the out turn.
Oh, changing it up.
Middle 8.
And I did hear their logic. If you ever leave any of the intern exposed, they hit and roll behind the double guards, and there's no way there, so they're going to go there first.
I think we're all there right now.
Wall then. Wall for all there.
Top 4!
Mine's good.
Weight's good! Top 4!
Room. Got a curl.
Jesse, get ready to
Right
go.
off.
Go ahead, Jess.
Keep close. Line's good. Line's good.
Switching to the offside
going,
sweep,
boys.
try to get some
Keep
extra
going.
curl
Keep
here at the
going.
end.
Whoa.
Boy, had a lot of room by the guard, and they've got that dead buried.
Isn't that? Yeah. Great finish.
Well, they certainly went to school on Kevin Marsh's shot. Like, they were able to see that line and knew where to put the broom down for that shot. We saw how long it stayed out on the other side of that center line.
Yeah, the late finish is great.
I think so. I mean, I don't know what else you do.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Corner freeze that one. I mean,
Yeah.
then he has guards, and then.
You'd never be able to get it. I didn't.
You'd
Well,
never be able to get around that.
well, I think mine's not gonna do what his does, but even if I'm here, it's not terrible. I might leave me a shot for 2 though. Still, I'd always have this for 2. I'm not. I understand. You like that then?
That's nice. What do you got? Do you guys like this? Yep. Shot rock right here.
I think so.
Yep.
Right.
Get a piece of 4. Yep. Just bite the 4.
T-line, perfect T-line.
So there's your decision. Come around, get shot rock.
Yeah, and even with that one buried, they're still not thinking in terms of making sure they can score. They know they're going to have a shot to score. They're still wanting a deuce here if they can find a way to do it.
Yep.
I think the gesture that Colton's made when he was saying, I've always got this for 2, he's even looking at that double raise onto the stone that Brock just threw. If that's the only shot he's got left to get 2, if it's the only second shot here, he may take a run at it.
Line's good. Really good line.
So it's staying a long time on the broom side of the center line, just watching when it starts to make its move.
Nice.
Dan's got to finish. Got to finish. Got to finish, Dan. 4 foot, yes.
Yep.
Hard.
We're T.
Hard. Hard, right on the T. Hard. Hard.
Great shot. Nice shot.
There's a nice shot.
Beauty.
There you can see from that angle, just about dead buried.
Back 8. I'm thinking like back 8. Look back here.
Sounds like they're talking back 4, back 8, just tapping it back to sit 2.
Huh? Yeah, he throws it completely different than me.
Just discussing the difference in ice.
Well, he's actually taking the same ice as what Colton did, but he's going to be throwing.
Going to it, Drew.
Well, first he called for back 8 weight, so he's taking the same ice as Colton, but throwing a little bit more weight, suggesting that Colton has a little bit more rotation on his shots versus what Brock does, or just a little different release.
I got a hair head
Whoa,
here,
whoa, whoa.
not much.
Whoa.
Weight's good, T.
Whoa.
I have to go, bro.
Yep.
This is curling a lot earlier than Colton's did.
You got to go.
Crossing the line much earlier.
Yeah, it sure is.
Don't think this is going to get by the guard. He's light
Just
as well.
straight out light, yeah.
Add more weight, too. Just soft on the release.
But
And 10 feet light.
Here's your Skip's deuce.
This still has to be made, though.
That's true, and you actually don't have a lot of room to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
In many respects, they were fortunate that they had to sweep at the end to finish that last one, because it comes in deep enough that way that you could actually come right to the face of your own in the second shot.
Yeah. He can get his second shot by coming to his own.
Yeah. And if you remember back to when they called it, where they tapped the ice, if that's where you put it, you wouldn't be able to come to your own.
Pull forward, boys.
They've been on this one most of the way down. They're going to have to really go to get it there.
We're good.
They maybe almost overcooked it.
Yeah.
Does come to rest fullback 4, and the two teams here have exchanged deuces through the first two ends. We're all tied up. Brock Virtue will have last rock when we come back.
Awesome.
Could be better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
When you need to hurry, you can count on Team Jiffy Lube. With fast, warranty-approved service while you wait. Jiffy Lube, your oil change experts.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we'll update you on all the scores here in this morning draw.
Scott Bitts attempted to hit and roll behind a center guard to permit Adam Casey not having a shot at 2. But Scott nosed. Adam made his shot for 2, taking a 2-0 lead for the going into the third.
And this was our feature game, and you saw that very nice draw for 2 by Colton Flash. Ties this game up.
Brent Gaddick sat on the 4-foot buried all and long until Brady Kendall on his last shot had a beautiful double run takeout and scored 2 points, and so the Brady Kendall team from Saskatoon has a 2-1 lead in the third end.
And over on sheet 4, Matt Dunstan, who throws skip rocks for or the final stones for the Steve Laycock team, just missed a double, leaving Jason Jacobson a draw for 2, made no mistake. So 2-1, Jacobson over Laycock.
And they are on skip stones here, so we're just going to stay here for a moment.
This is Jason's last rock.
Looking to come tight by that guard. If he can remove the yellow one, he'll be sitting 3.
Sure got a long way to curl.
Doesn't make contact with it at all, so it's a chance for Matt Dunstone to draw. Needs just a little bit better than full 8 foot to get 2 points here.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a massive swing on one shot. You're hitting to, at the
Sit
very
3.
least, force, and if you sit in a good spot, you actually might be in a spot to steal. Matt Dunstone joining the team this year after Colton Flash left to skip his own team, and the team went through a few configurations before they settled on this one.
Yeah.
feature game. You see the nice come around there by Jesse St. John.
Well, you know, you get a new player in the mix. I'm just thinking of the Laycock team here and Matt, that sometimes it clicks and sometimes it takes a while, and it hasn't been overly successful so far, but at some point when you can turn it on and when it does start to click, things can go.
Well, we know that Kevin Cooey team is a prime example of that.
Good
point.
point.
When they configured 4 years ago, it took them a solid year to get their iteration all worked out.
There's a nice shot and
Puts
2
that
points.
draw on the button, so he gets his 2 points there. I just know the one that I still chuckle at, and I think that's why they put it out there, is that when Matt joined the team, of course, he's replacing the second, but they had to decide what they were going to do with everything, and they've got a video that they've posted online very early on of Matt. Of course, Matt skipped all through juniors, and he's trying to sweep, and I don't think he made it to the first hog line before he fell down. So they decided real early on that he was going to have to hold the broom when Steve shot.
Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, well, you got to go then. Yes. 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 Well,
Make that double? Yeah.
Well, they were looking to corner freeze the yellow there, but a little strong and
Thin half.
didn't get the line. Ends up
Third's good even.
chipping the corner of their own and has left a double available.
I expect the PLs to just run straight.
Yeah. Third.
Easy, easy, easy.
Nothing out of the Brushers so far.
Shot.
It's thick enough to get it out.
Nice shot.
They were a little worried for a while they might be jamming it there. Hard to jam it and keep it in play with that weight. It's going to spin off the contact.
Yeah.
Dan and Kevin Marsh both make shots like that look so simple. They are just such super big weight hitters, that great weapons to bring to your team.
Yep.
Now here's the big weight for Mitch Height, looking to move a couple of guards.
Just like that.
Kevin, you're up.
Kevin, you're up, man. They guard that one? Yeah. So right on the nose.
Well, there you go. It's not just us that forgets who's throwing every once in a while. They do it too.
Yeah.
This is good. Like, this is
Your turn.
good quickness.
Just pass the soft tail, so we good, eh? Yeah. Just pass the soft tail, will we?
And as we talked about it yesterday too, so you've just thrown a blistering double takeout, and now you have to revert to a very gentle
Close.
guard weight type of throw.
Mine's good. Two.
Just two.
Whoa.
Just
Let
two.
it work. Mine's good. Two.
Just
Make it
work.
three. With two. Make it three. Two. You gotta go. Hard. 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 Gotta go. Come on, Dan. Hard. Keep going, Dan. Go. Keep going.
And that's actually a very hard skill set to manage. The sports science people talk about how it's a completely different skill set to throw that big peel weight and then turn right around and throw guard weight. And not many sports have that type of quick turnaround. Golf is one. You've just hit a 300-yard drive, and now you've got a short putt or a little wedge. But that's a tremendous skill set to learn how to do, and it's much more difficult than what it sort of appears to be. That the I know that Adam Kingsbury, that's who works with Rachel Holman's team, he talked about the athletic ability to be able to do that and to recognize that that's a top-notch skill.
Wall. Off. Never. No.
They were looking to get almost to the nose on that. Now I don't know whether it was the weight that was the problem or the line.
Well, at least Jesse St. John stayed with the rock to the hog line. Mitch dropped off halfway through. He was already back at the far hog line before Drew's rock was through the rings.
Yep, I'll give you top. Yeah, top 12 is fine too. Yeah, exactly.
I have to think he was a little wide on that one. They're calling never. That's usually not a weight issue.
Top 12.
Line's good.
That's good, actually.
Top
eight.
Good. Line's good.
Top 8.
Line's good. Top 8, guys.
Top 8 on zone.
Room.
Had a couple of miscues from the Virtue team this end, and it has allowed Colton Flash to put some pressure on here.
Yeah. Hard, Trent. Can't hurt it. Go, go, go. Keep going, bud. Keep going. Keep going. Good, 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 good.
Good rock, Kev. Well done.
You don't feel good with the draw because the draw is still there. But.
Well, sweeping finished that shot off, and we do see a lot of good sweepers out there, but there's no doubt that Trent Knapp has been known from early in his junior career as a guy that works hard on every sweep in, and that was just evident right there.
So now playing the corner freeze, trying to get in between the two.
Line, pull back, hard line, way back. Hard line. Hard line. Really hard line. Really got to go. We're just a 3. Well, get it by the yellow. So, well, we're not.
Drew Height, a couple of struggles here this end. You heard Mitch say that he pulled back. I think that's what he's talking about on the release. Drew probably felt like he was heavy, took some weight off at the end, and that's a tough skill to do. It's not something you advise because it's really hard to control how much you can take off. It's a lot easier if you slide out a little bit light and extend, and you hear a lot of the players now when you're watching on TV talk about adding a little. You seem to have more control when you do that. It's real tough when you drag weight off at the end. A look here at some of the school kids in attendance, and they've finally looked up and seen themselves on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, because you don't give them
now Kerry's going to have to find a way to swing the camera around and get the ones on the other side, though. We got to play fair here.
That's right.
Okay. Top 8's the play, though, right?
Kevin's going to run this here.
Yep.
Same draw as everywhere.
Yep.
And of course, the schools cheering for their hometown. Brent Geddick just made a nice freeze there.
Top 8. Line's good.
Top 8.
Full 8. Line's good. Make it good. All you. Yep. Room. Line's good. Room. Make it good. Make it good. Line will be fine.
Weight's nice.
Just full 8.
Full 8.
Easy.
Finish a bit.
You gotta go top.
Oh, line's good. Doesn't need to curl.
Sit. Beauty. Nice flash.
Colton Flash brings his stone into the top 4 foot.
It's really good.
Sitting second shot. Of course, both of them are covered.
Nice shot. We do have these school kids here in attendance from McCoon and Lampman and Spruce Ridge.
We can hold them to 1. I'd give them 1.
Always great to see the school kids in the building in Westview.
And there's the kids on the other side. They haven't looked up yet. They haven't seen themselves.
Oh, now they got it figured out.
Usually only takes 1 or 2 to get it started.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like the second group was a little louder.
Well, Lampman, of course, is home for Christy Johnson that curls with Candace Chisholm. Christy, a long-time curler on the women's circuit and a fabulous lead, mixed champion, and she's with the education system down here in the southeast corner. And it's always nice to have prominent curlers to help promote the sport, and I know Christy does a lot to make sure that school kids are exposed to the sport.
Yeah,
Brock Virtue looking for the long run back. He would have liked to get both of those yellows out of the 4 foot, just gets the 1. Does keep his shooter in play for second shot.
Another one in there. Yeah.
Might have a shot for 2, or we just hit this.
Oh, like the run double?
Well, you have to make a run double for 2. He couldn't make it. He just threw it.
Well, he saw a shot in the first end, so nothing's impossible.
Not as much of a fan as today as I am here, and it still gives him the same draw anyway.
Could you even over curl and corner the yellow?
That's what I was thinking. Like just get right there. Then he's got to draw a cold pin and steal it 2 or 1.
I know it's against 2, but
whatever you're feeling though.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah. I'm good with that.
Well, I just watched Brock make that long run back and just missed the double. He hit it just a shade on the wrong side.
Kind of like draw? Well, like draw puts heat on.
I know.
I like it's, you make him throw a run back. Worst case, he's getting 2.
Yes.
Center?
Like it's
Good, normal.
Good, but that's the only thing.
Well, as I said, that corner guard running he had on the first end too to get that 2 points always weighs in the back of your mind of what you're leaving your opposition, because we know Brock has no problem playing those kinds of shots.
Okay, what kind of weight? Good normal.
I think what makes so much of an issue here is we turn our attention to look at sheet 3. Brent Geddick with his final stone needs to draw a full 4-foot for a single point, and if he does, we might be hard to hear for a minute.
Oh.
Normal.
Well, he's got a big chunk of the 4-foot.
Yeah. Whoa. 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 Yep. Whoa.
Flash looking for the hit and roll in towards the middle.
Good pair, Flash.
And what that all boiled down to is the respect that he's got for Brock Virtue and the ability to make those runbacks. He wanted a force out of this end. He had the force. He didn't want to take the risk of going for the steal and give up a chance at a possible deuce that most people probably wouldn't even throw. But Brock Virtue is one that might make it.
And he'll make it too, exactly. So full 4.
Well, Brock has to be thinking too about that in-turn draw. He came up light in the second end too, so this is a good challenge here to find the tee line with this one.
I think we're going to go a little. Line's really nice. Line's really good. Line's real good.
Rushers picked it up early and they've never backed away.
Heads down. Go, go, go. Go! Go, go, go! All the way, never off.
Needs full 4-foot here to get a single point.
Go, 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 go. Come on, Jeff.
Going to be light of that. Can they get far enough to hold it to a steal of 1? No, they cannot. It's going to be a steal of 2 for Colton Flash here in the third end, and they'll take the 4-2 lead in end number 4.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we'll keep you up to date on all the scores, and we've got a lot of them to report here on this morning draw. Susan, Kim?
It was a wide open hit for Scott Bitts to take his 4 in the third end, and they've already finished up the fifth end. Adam Casey, it looked like he had an open hit for 2 points, but he's rolled out and he scored 1 point. So it's 4-3 going into the fifth end. Scott Bitts leading.
Well, and this was our feature game, and we saw that Brock had a draw to full 4 against 3, came up short, steal a 2 by the Flash team, so the score 4-2. Flash over Virtue.
Sorry, Kim.
That's okay.
We saw Brent Geddick attempting to draw full 4-foot. They brought out the measuring pin, but Brady Kendall won it by a millimeter there, so he stole 1 point. He leads 3-1 playing the fourth end.
Well, over on sheet 4, it was basically a wide open end, but I think I didn't see the last shot coming down, but I know it was an open hit, but I see on the scoreboard it was a steal of 1 by the Laycock team, so big turn there. 4-2, Laycock over Jacobson.
Brock Virtue struggling a little bit with draw weight early in this game Thursday morning.
Yeah, definitely more weight, which is good.
Wonder what pair of rocks he's throwing.
Line's good. We can wait.
Yeah, it's hot.
Looks, it's not
Really needs to
curling.
grind.
But again, it made that decision by Colton to avoid the big run-in kind of shot and leave the more open shot, and it worked out well for Flash's team.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, you do expect your opposition to, you know, at the very least come in for a portion of the forfeit, for at least only a steal of one, but that second steal point was quite the bonus there.
Jesse St. John now looking to play a second corner guard, a little tighter than the first one.
Yeah, I got the same one.
I see a lot of teams when they're looking to play the second corner guard play it on the other side. This is not a bad way to do it either. He's playing the longer one, tighter one, so the double peel is kind of a straight back. If you want to do it, you're going to have to leave your shooter there.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I don't mind it at all.
You don't see it a lot, but I wonder.
You can on ice that curls this much, you certainly
you can. And on with the 5-rock rule coming next year, I wonder if we're not going to see that played a little bit more.
And what's your logic behind that?
Well, again, it's harder to make the double peel and roll away when they're straight like this. If you make the double peel, your shooter's probably staying up there for a guard somewhere.
Yep! 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 Hard! Roll it!
So the benefit of big weight on your peels there, Dan did hit quite a bit of that rock. I think he turned it in just a little bit when he let go there, but the sweep held it, and good scrub to get it over to the boards.
Yeah.
Line's good.
It's good if this rock is a pig.
Okay.
Line's good.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they've definitely switched this one out now.
Uh-huh.
Ton of room!
Whoa. Wait for it to go.
Wait, good.
Whoa, not yet. Not yet. Close, Jesse.
Wait, good.
Close, Jesse. Just finish it at the end. No bounce. Good job. Good boy.
Nice shot there.
Sits it right on the corner.
Watch, see, it's like hit and roll off that one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
We always have this guard we can
For
run
sure,
in.
it's short. Yeah.
I like control.
Sure. Oh, yeah, a little less.
Whoa!
Get firm. Firm.
No!
A little big.
No! Kevin, go. Can't hurt it.
Kevin.
Hard, Kevin. You can't hurt it.
Okay. All right.
Looking for the roll there, but right on the nose. That'll give
Right.
the Virtue team a chance to bring another one around that top 4-foot area.
Good news for the Flash team, though, is that yellow's pretty tight to run in. Which is exactly what they said when they
Or that or that.
change of plan,
Control.
perhaps.
Do you like that? If you like the draw, it's fine.
I think we got to hit this.
The difference in the two shots is whether or not you really want to go hard for 3 or just make sure you get your chance for 2. Don't get forced.
This will be in.
It's still early in the end, too.
Control.
There's still a chance perhaps to set up 3 later on.
Well, and they do want to keep Flash away from that yellow run also.
Well, that's exactly it. You make the come around, you're trying to get 3, but if he makes the run back, you could get forced.
Nice weight.
Good. And big.
Pretty straight here.
Probably easier this way. With this turn.
Well, I think the straight turn's fine.
Get us,
Just take less ice.
you'll get a lower roll. That's the only thing.
We do see a couple of the experienced
I know.
coaches behind the sheet there. We've got
Okay,
Bruce
just go board.
Cordy and Brad
Real
Height.
solid board.
They've got their
Solid board.
binoculars out. They're already scouting rocks on other sheets.
I saw a couple of the coaches yesterday up on the concourse here checking teams and which rocks various players were throwing on various sheets of ice. So
Close. Yep.
lots of times when you look and we don't see the coach
Going
behind
north.
the bench, it's they've got
Yep.
the binoculars out and
Whoa.
they're checking a different sheet of
Whoa.
ice.
Dan, go.
Well, it
Go,
was
Dan. Go, Dan. Go,
Quite
Dan.
interesting.
Go,
They
Dan.
were both at the
Hard.
same
Roll
time
it.
checking out other sheets with their binoculars.
Nice shot.
It's a good shot, Kev. Well,
Makes
well
the hit,
done.
rolls across to the top 8, still out in the open.
Not sure what we do now, though.
I don't think there's any thought that you could try to draw now. You've got 2 short yellow runs.
Control.
Gonna have to make a play on this stone. You see the indication he wants to roll well out past the corner on the past the center guard on the other side of the corner. Just don't want this rock anywhere where they can use it.
Whoa.
Control. Other way.
This might be out there a little bit. They've got to be careful
Yep. Whoa.
hitting
whoa,
it on
whoa.
the outside. They don't want to jam it onto their
Roll
own.
it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it.
Gets enough curl at the end to
Good, good, good.
get the hit and
Come on,
roll
Drew.
across.
Attaboy. All right, roll it in there.
Must have been good finish in that spot with
Take a
that
little more
turn
weight.
because
Keep it flatter.
Okay.
Normal.
it might have been one of the brushers. I'm not sure whether it was somebody watching the line or not. I can't necessarily tell all the
I like
voices,
that.
but they called earlier wondering if they should try to go the other way.
Whoa.
Weight's good.
Close. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
With that rolling as far as it did,
Yep.
you hit and roll back to center here, you might be able to get a
Hard.
shot rock out of this.
Yeah, they just lost that one.
Over curled on them.
Too cute on that.
Yeah.
Way too cute.
Well, here's
never
the chance
count it.
now to
Yeah.
perhaps set up your 3 without having to risk leaving that run back.
Then you force them to freeze our red.
Put this stone in a spot
that.
where it's hard to remove.
Okay.
Freeze it.
Freeze up.
Small top's fine.
No.
We're shot here.
We can see it.
I don't think they're all in agreement here.
Well, and Mitch is telling him to look up.
Oh,
It's
there's
on the
nothing
Jumbotron.
like,
You can see
nothing
it.
Yeah.
like brothers
know what else
talking
we
to
do.
brothers.
We go here. We could freeze here. I don't know.
I don't mind the first call. The problem with that call, and that's what they're worried about, you make the good freeze, and if you make it too good, you force Colton Flash to freeze on shot rock, and if he makes that, he's taking your end away.
Yeah,
probably never gonna
exactly.
make
Now
this
you're
one
being
count.
forced one.
Right? Like it's gonna be awfully hard.
Well, good if we lose that. What
Yeah,
else do we do though?
If we go right here, it's real good. He's still going on top of you. It's same difference.
Well,
Brock might be right.
or he's ripping the run.
He might hit that. If he misses the I think going there actually is better, Drew. It keeps the 4 foot more open.
I think he's gonna hit this if we go here.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna try to. He's gonna rip it, right?
He might, yeah. I don't think he's running the guard in playing the double.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely agree he's not running the guard in. But if this freeze comes in and sits third shot, and it's a real good freeze, you may well see Colton Flash freeze to shot stone.
We're to it, I think,
And
Brock.
that's the rock they're trying to keep him away from.
Right now, we're to it.
Back 12. Cannot. Gotta get off the guard. Curl.
Taking a long time to curl here, and it's going to just rub now. They've got to be careful not to slide in too deep to leave the double.
Pretty steep. Well, I guess
Yeah,
no.
it is.
They could
still.
do the slash, I guess.
Oh, I
But no.
don't think you're slashing
No,
towards
no,
the
no.
yellow. But he's got the hit and roll for shot.
Yeah.
But that's where we saw Kevin Marsh's rock not come in either earlier back in that second end. So it's
Honestly,
a
the
very
perfect roll's almost
tricky
jamming.
little
It's
slide
almost
path.
jamming. That's the only thing.
I think it would.
It's gonna miss.
Slow it out.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how much weight you want to throw.
Throw with board. Right? Throw with board, hit less of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Board weight?
Yeah, board.
Okay.
Have to be a little careful not to
Okay,
jam
it's
the
a little
back
bit.
one.
It's a little bit closer to the center
If it would
line.
have gone
than ours.
sideways.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be easier coming this way.
Well, yeah, we almost thought that was a tough shot to even make. Like,
That's,
'cause
I
with how
honestly love
late it
playing
breaks.
this so we can
Yeah.
always hold it. Right here. Board, edge of rock. Should be close.
So hit and roll.
By an inch, yeah.
Board or big board?
Board. Just
Board? Okay.
All right. Gotta try to hit a little thinner so it doesn't jam.
Yeah. Board.
Yep.
Close.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. Yep. 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 Whoa. Yep. Yep.
Big board. Big board.
Yes! High! 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 Whoa!
Makes the hit, passes it by the one at the back. Just clip it, but shooter rolls to the corner of the button.
Yeah, great shot.
Great shot, buddy.
Well done.
Really couldn't have hit it any thinner or he'd have popped out in the open.
Exactly. Great sweeping is what I have to say.
That should be close. Middle.
Forces Brock Virtue to try to come down to that stone.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to be like, if we're T-line rate, then we kind of go to the
Top board.
His last two draws, he came up a little bit light. Now we do think, just based on what we heard, that they switched out that stone. But
yeah.
How much question does that put into your mind when the last two draws you've thrown were with a stone that was heavier? Now you're throwing with a stone that's got a different weight to it.
really good. 3. Come on, guys. Go! Go, 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 go!
And he's come up well light on this one as
Stay
well.
on it. Stay on it. Stay on it. Whoa. Whoa. Stop.
And they stopped sweeping at the end because they didn't want it to curl
Overlap.
enough to overlap.
Does he have a shot for 2 this way? If I,
Well, he has that for 2.
he has that for 2 right now, right?
Take.
Does he have a
Is
shot?
this there for 2?
Ooh, right now.
Because you got to avoid this one and then.
Yeah, to stick your shooter.
Really hard.
Because that's his shot for 2 right now.
We could just guard that shot for 2 and give him a draw for 1.
Okay.
Or he might play this. I don't know if it's there for 2. That's the only thinking.
I don't know if we want him playing this. I think it might just be there.
You give him a steal 1 pretty easily.
Yeah. True.
It's hardly there.
You just lock another freeze right on top of it, right? Like, we know the outturn. Yeah.
That's not.
No, that's terrible.
That's terrible, right?
The shot they're talking
I was
about
thinking
being
this is
just
such a
barely
tough
there.
shot.
If
Why don't we
you
just
can
take
Brock
away
can play
that
the
one?
Outturn around the left
That
side
one's
as we're
4-2
looking
for
at it.
sure.
Tap the yellow
This is
across
so
the
tough.
face past the red and still hold his shooter. I don't know that it's there.
Yeah,
You might have to do it
You got to
off the
stick
red.
it right here, right?
It is there.
And not jam this and stick it. Right?
Yeah.
That's hard.
I think guard that then.
Guard that then flash.
I think that's his easiest shot, right?
There you go.
I
I like their logic.
It's still going to
I
be
like
the same
this.
thing for 2, right?
And then he could for 2. Yeah.
Not if you're
Unless
there.
we came just
We could do that too.
Just around it.
Right?
Yeah, unless they come around.
They're the
It
same.
accomplishes the same thing.
Well, this actually does more because now that other shot,
I like
there's no way you're keeping your shooter enough in the 4 foot
We
for.
know that.
I was going to look at this from the
even
hack.
if,
Like,
fully. I think we're coming in.
This makes more sense to me if you think he's got 2 shots for 2, and certainly the
Bite the
run
four.
is there.
Bite the 4?
Come in, bite the 4.
Yep. You got your
Put
weight.
more
You
pressure
can't
on
take
them.
both of them away with
Press
one
it.
guard, so why aren't you
If we're not
coming
quite
in?
second out of the back one, it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Then it's still really not there.
yeah, where is his rock again?
It's just outside the 4. So I mean, your full 8, like biting the 4 is perfect.
Yeah, you'll be in the good stuff here.
Yeah.
Draw the button fast.
Oh, this is there.
Yeah.
Where is it?
A little hot.
Dock 8.
That's not. No. Good then.
We got it on. Line's good.
Dock 8.
This is where you hope your sweep
Where
judges
is
are
it?
Yeah.
wrong.
No,
Hold
you're
it.
wrong.
Just leave it.
No, looks like They got the right read as soon as Colton let go.
Okay.
Come on.
And pulls that into the back 12-foot. So now it'll be a chance for Brock Virtue if he wants to take one of those two shots on.
Not an easy chance, but a chance.
What do you mean?
Well, and the thing is, the draw to the 4-foot with the in-turn to take your 1 point is usually not a bad shot, but I don't know if Brock really feels overly confident about that right now.
Well, as you say, the degree of difficulty right about now is he might as well go for a shot for 2 here.
Yeah.
Whatever he wants to throw.
Control.
This is the one he wants.
Yeah, even a hair.
2/3.
Yeah. 3/4 is probably perfect, Brock.
It's probably not the way he's looking at it, but I always used to take the approach that if I'm going to miss a shot, I may as well miss a shot for 2 as opposed to missing a shot for 1.
Well, half shot here, he could still get his.
I don't think that's what the sports psychologist would be telling you to be thinking.
Off. Close. Yep.
Sounding close.
Whoa. Yeah. Hard, G. Yes.
Makes the run, makes the contact on that object stone, and now how far is it going to roll? It hangs on the back 4-foot, does get his 2 points, and we're all tied up again after the 4th end.
Get on your game with Asham Curling Supplies. Customize your slide with the all-new Express Ultralight and Club Shoe, featuring the style, comfort, and performance you expect from Asham. Sweep the competition with our Pro Grip gloves and ultralight carbon fiber, composite, and fiberglass handles, plus World Curling Federation approved pads.
Hey folks, I'm Arnold Asham. For 39 years, our product has been satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Asham Curling Supplies, online, in-store, and at Hub.
Oh Canada, glowing hearts, see thee rise. True north, true pride, strong and free, both far and wide. This land is glorious, and it's ours, from sea to shining sea.
You're always home on Canada's largest wireless network with no roaming fees.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we'll update all the scores here on this Thursday morning draw.
Looks like, based on a couple of nice draws by Brock Montgomery and Adam Casey, a steal of 1 for Adam here in the 5th end. I'll just verify that when they put the score up, but they looked at a second steal point, but I don't think they had it.
And there's one quick look at that as they were pulling the stones away. One on the button was shot for sure.
Scott was trying to come on in-turn hit and just get past those 2 yellows, but he just ticked the guard.
And this is our feature game. We saw that really nice controlled hit run back by Brock Virtue. Ties this game up at 4-4.
Well, this young Brady Kendall team is making everything. In the 4th end, Brent Geddick was looking at 4 rocks in the 8-foot, and Brent, though, drew a piece of the 4-foot and got his 1 point. 3-2 for Brady Kendall playing the 5th.
And over here on sheet 4, Jason Jacobson did get his 1 point in the 5th end, but does put him down in this game. The score is 4-3 for Laycock, and Laycock does have hammer as well.
I didn't happen to see the shot by Jesse St. John. They would have been looking for something on the center, and ends up in the corner and in the rings. So Colton Flash able to make a play on that stone. And
there you have a picture of those 2 coaches up there. You saw Brad still scouting with the binoculars. Well, you know what? That was a huge shot, not only for 2 points there for Brock Virtue, but also for a little bit of a pick-me-up. You could sort of feel things turning a little, and now all of a sudden you're back to a tie game, and that's huge mentally.
Nice toss.
The nose hit there by Jesse St. John stays out of the rings, so Colton Flash unable to make a play on it this time, looking for the corner guard.
Oh, it's good.
Trent Knapp with his intern.
Line's good.
No, guys. Line's good.
Three. Hey, well, on its own here. That's quite hot. Sit.
And that one slides a little deep. Might even be biting the 12-foot.
Blanket then.
Yeah.
What? Control?
Yeah. Okay. You're off, Drew.
Heavy!
Whoa!
Lock, normal.
Normal weight.
Whoa.
So sounds like more weight than what they were looking for here.
Roll it. Anything, anything.
Sorry, Brock, just too heavy.
That's okay.
Makes the hit, but stays for a tight corner guard, and
It's fifth end if we blank it.
Colton Blash wants to play aggressive, try to come around it, but the hack end having none of that. I'd heard them say just before that they were already looking at the blank.
That's right. As soon as Trent went in, you could see the change in strategy happening.
Yeah, it's not a great situation here anyway, and plus, you know, you blank the fifth end, you've got hammer in the even ends now in a tie game. That's a situation that a lot of teams will try aggressively to get into.
Shot. Good down. Bed.
Makes the hit on the first guard, comes across, just nudges the second one, but doesn't get it out of play.
Well, I think too, if those two red rocks were further outside, if they weren't so close to the rings there, that Colton might have considered the draw a little longer, but being just outside, that's pretty short run no matter where they put a rock.
Little less, not much.
That's okay. Yep.
Close.
Yep.
Hard,
Yep.
Drew.
Really hard.
That was a good throw.
Boy, that made a big sudden move. I'm not sure that didn't grab something. Didn't hear them say anything about it.
No, he had just that little less weight because he had said on his first one he had thrown a bit too much for what Brock was looking for. So they're talking about if it's the rock or a spot on the ice or just what Drew did. Or Mitch, sorry.
I said he threw it good, so.
I added, boys.
Wait's close, see or deeper.
Easy.
Okay, can you wait?
Line's good, we got room.
Weight's good.
We got a lot of room.
Weight's good.
Kevin's in.
We're back 8.
Okay, take it back 8. As long as you're not through, you can go, Kev.
No, it's still gliding really good right
As long as you're not through, you can go.
now. No, we're not through.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Shot down.
Trying to come around that tight corner guard. Never really got close on the line. And still has a sliver in behind cover anyway.
Well, the shooter has to roll away, so that does work in Colton's favor there if they're still trying to keep a blank alive.
Okay, he's comfortable with this setup. If he gets a cheap deuce opportunity out of it, he'll take it as long as he can keep the blank alive.
Wait's good.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah. Really hard. Really gotta go. Really hard. Well, roll it. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Come on.
They made a decision to go to plan B, but maybe a little light on the guard and not thick enough to keep the shooter in play.
Even her up.
Well, we just talked about Colton being more than happy to take a cheap deuce opportunity if he gets it. Now you just got to split the rings, and if you can hold it for 4 more stones, you'll have the chance for 2 here.
Yeah, we're not hurting this.
No, sure.
Easy,
Well,
buddy.
it's-
We're going to be
it's
way
okay.
over here.
Easy.
Oh, wait's
Got you on the
close.
T line.
T.
Line's good. Just
Run
T
it.
line.
T.
Run in.
Gotta sit.
Looking to put this straight across from the other stone and as far over there as they can get it.
Didn't curl as much as what they expected,
No.
so the
that's
weight didn't
lightning.
come off
Yep.
quite what they were thinking,
Good
but
shot.
still stayed there nicely in the back 12 foot.
Yeah, no matter where they put it over there, Brock was going to have a little work to do to try to get these rocks closer together for a double later on in the end just to get out of it. They've got pretty good separation, so it's a question of how close can you get them together in the matter of the 3 rocks you got left.
And you're already starting behind the T line, so you cut your real
you
estate
go
down
far,
too.
it's no good.
Whoa, roll it.
So it's a real good start.
Now you can go fast.
Got it back to the center line.
Roll back a bit. Okay. If he knows there might
So
be
the
a
Flash
double.
team will try to roll back.
Okay, let's go for the roll again. Yeah, let's play it.
Solid board.
Solid board.
I think it should curl off at the end.
Yeah, I think it will like too, this. In this spot.
Yep.
Go
Solid board. Yep.
Little big. Little big. Whoa. Yes! Big. Whoa. Whoa.
Makes the hit.
Beauty.
Way to go.
Great shot.
Sounded a little worried for a minute that he might roll too far, but rolls into the 12-foot, and that's a great roll. It's, again, with only the 2 stones left now, you've got to get these grouped on this stone if you're going to have any chance for a double, and pretty tough to group 2 stones that he can see that from that angle. They're both basically edge of the 8-foot, so 8 feet apart. And with one shot here, you've got to try to get these close enough together to play a double.
But you can see where their practice hours on that shot are coming into play, because they're making more of those than they're missing. And all those teams that we see on TV that make these hit and rolls consistently work very hard on improving their percentages on that shot, because as you can tell, it's the end breaker. It's such a key shot.
Yes! Yes!
Mark Virtue with his first one makes the hit. Now, how far is it going to roll? It's a good attempt, but rolls just a little too far. Had to keep shot rock there to make Colton play it.
Okay, so is this, you tell him faster than draw the button, or is that nice quick?
I thought it was
a nice quick
yeah,
going.
yeah,
I agree.
Right? Yeah. Like, I think it's similar to that quick draw to the button. Yeah.
Well, Colton just had put one in the back 12-foot, so he's just verifying what adjustment he needs to make here if this path is any quicker versus the one he just threw in the 4th end.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Such a tough shot there for Brock Virtue. He only rolled about 6 inches too far. You're trying to make a 6-foot roll to try to leave a double available, and if he rolls 2 feet less, there's never going to be a double anyway. So you're playing with such a small piece of ice that you have to roll to.
Back 8.
No, then.
No. Can't touch it. We're okay.
Yep. Whoa. Line's really good, boys. Even them up.
Sweepers are saying back 8. Colton's yelling whoa, but back 8's kind of the weight they need. They want to keep this even with the one on the other side.
Hard. Go.
Yep, keep going. Good. Great shot, Flash. Yep.
Brings that in far enough. I don't see a double there.
Sure. Yeah.
So what they're looking at, if they could roll right in front of their own, they could make it a little bit more difficult. A jam on their stone that they threw on the first one would beat out the stone that's left on the 12-foot.
Yeah, line.
Same way, Brock. Yeah, go, Jess. We gotta go. It's definitely tighter.
They're on this right away.
Whoa! Whoa!
They backed off now.
Roll it! Whoa, no roll!
Makes the hit.
Yes!
Pulls across, and well, he's got a bit of it in front of his own, but didn't get the angle the same on the roll on that rock, and there's room. Colton Flash makes the nose hit here. He'll double the 2.
Gonna wait.
Solid board.
Well, we saw a couple of games yesterday. We were wondering if the scorekeeper was going to have enough zeros. The way this one's going, we wonder if they might have enough 2s.
Exactly. And we've seen a big difference here now on day 2. All of these games have rocks in play, and they have right from the first end.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody waited too long to see if the morning draw ice was going to be any different.
So Colton needs a nose hit here.
They're up. Well then. They're up. Whoa, please. Whoa! No!
Nothing
Taking
out of
its
the
time
sweepers
coming
yet,
up here
and,
is not curling up.
Now they're sweeping from the offside to try to get the curl. He doesn't have a lot of room to roll. Makes the hit, comes across, and that little nudge on his own stone is enough to kill it and kill the weight on it and stop for 2.
You know, the benefits of just lightweight.
Weight was good. Maybe a hair.
Yeah, if he doesn't nudge his own stone, probably rolls too far. Kim Hudson has made her way down to ice level, and we're going to see if we can get a word in with Colton.
Yeah,
Kim?
I have Colton right here. Nice shot. That was a big 2 points.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, exactly. Great game so far. Very aggressive. Any comments? Was that the game plan?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily the game plan. I know these guys love to play aggressive, and they love the big shot, and they've made a couple of them so far. So I just got to be a little sharper in my last and not give them that shot.
Yeah. Has the ice changed any? Looks like draw waiter is a little different than yesterday.
No, I think it's pretty close. It's still nice and quick, and I'd say if anything, a little bit more curl than our game on sheet 1.
Okay. Have to ask the obvious question. How are you enjoying the skipping?
Loving it. Loving it.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Good luck. Continued success.
Saskatchewan Championship Curling is brought to you by Sask Tel, Viterra, Service Equipment, White Ice and East Side Paint and Wallpaper, Asham Curling Supplies, Jiffy Lube, CurlSask, and Sask Tel Max.
All right, people, let's get to work. Lights off.
Ma'am, there's someone at the door. Unknown male, might be a salesman.
Take care of it. You, drop the temperature. I'm roasting.
Ma'am, your straightening iron. Shall I pull the plug?
Yes. While you're at it, leave room for milk.
Crown jewel has been stolen. For almost 40 years, it has been kept far from its home. Saskatchewan. The time has come. So don your green and will your team back to glory. This Tim Hortons Briar. Be there for history in the making.
When you need to hurry, you can count on Team Jiffy Lube. With fast, warranty-approved service while you wait. Jiffy Lube, your oil change experts.
Get on your game with Asham Curling Supplies. Customize your slide with the all-new Express Ultralight and Club Shoe, featuring the style, comfort, and performance you expect from Asham. Sweep the competition with our Pro Grip gloves and ultralight carbon fiber, composite, and fiberglass handles, plus World Curling Federation approved pads.
Hey folks, I'm Arnold Asheman. For 39 years, our product has been satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Asham Curling Supplies, online, in-store, and at your club.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Don't worry, we're having a great time. We're gonna practice and then we're gonna actually play games. Really? Yeah. Awesome.
Snap it back. Yeah.
Been getting better.
Want to try it and have some fun? Hurry hard to your local curling center or visit CurlSask.ca to find a curling center near you.
Introducing the all-new heated cab for the John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
Welcome back, everyone. All the games close to or through the fifth end break. We'll quickly update all the scores here.
It was just a steal of one for Adam Casey in the fifth end, 4-4, and they're down just about finishing the sixth end. Scott Bitts is sitting 3 right now in Adam Casey's last shot, so we will keep you posted on what happens there.
And we saw that shot by Colton Flash just hang on to get us 2 points. That is our feature game, score 6-4, Flash over Virtue.
Brent Geddick is not getting a lot of help from his teammates out there. Brent, on his 2 final shots, made 2 big draws to only hold Brady Kendall here to 2 points. Brady was looking at 4, possibly 5 all in, but Brent's put in another 2 saver shots, and we now have a score of 5-2 for Brady Kendall over Brent Geddick.
There was that last shot. We managed to get it during the commercial. With all those red rocks in play, it looked like he had a shot for a million, but the one at the back of the 8-foot, he just couldn't get a second one in to beat it.
Yeah, that was a game saver because that was Brent Geddick's last shot coming in there, or it would have been for 5 or 6 or whatever the number was.
Well, he put in the first saver shot, Brent. He drew in top 8-foot for second shot, and that took away a lot of pressure right there. But it was that last shot that saved an early handshake, likely.
That's true, exactly. Here we have our game on sheet 4, and it was a blank end in the sixth end, so the score here still remains the same. Jacobson over Laycock. And I'm sorry, I can't see the scoreboard right now. It is, that's right, Laycock 4-3 over Jacobson. Blank end in 6, playing 7.
So Colton Flash with the 2-point lead here. Asks for the first 2 stones into the rings. We've got 1 corner guard already, and this time Brock Virtue looking for the second corner guard on the other side.
Right.
Good. That's good.
2 nice ones. Evenly apart, nice and tight.
You threw this one in the fourth, eh? I did, yeah. Bit of curl.
Yeah,
go really
hard.
I get the impression Colton's enjoying skipping.
Well, yeah, I didn't think you asked the right question.
What was I supposed to ask?
Does he enjoy not having to sweep anymore?
Oh.
That's the biggest selling point.
Hit your up, bud. Gift.
Looking to bake the straight peel on that corner guard. Hits it a little thick, but gets the bonus out of that. Rolls over and at least covers the 2 shot stones in the button area. And that's got Brock Virtue scratching his head a little bit. What do we do about this?
Back 4. Okay. I like the weight. It's all there. Whoa. Easy! Whoa. Yeah, I think it's all there. Where is Mike, we're back 8. Back 8.
Yeah. Back 12.
Yeah. Yeah. Try to get this red in. Yep.
Weight was good. That wasn't the problem. It hung on that outside guard.
onesies. Yeah.
And now you got a double guard on center line.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, if
Good look from that angle. It's not quite overlapped. I guess you got
Maybe not
that
quite.
little bit of
I like
bonus.
this. Yeah. Yeah. I like.
Had you overlapped that, that would be even worse.
Yeah.
You just lob a higher one up.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I think you're okay, guys.
Guard the red a little bit.
Weight's really good.
Finish if anything.
It's there.
I like it to
Okay,
curl.
starting to
better.
move now.
Weight's good.
Gotta
Starting to
move
move. Don't need to finish it.
Weight's all
Don't
there.
need to finish it either, I don't think.
Gotta get the center though still.
Yeah, maybe a little. For just two. Great stone. Pistol.
Good, bud.
Yeah.
Good.
Playing the higher guard anyway, and I think they would have liked to guard a little bit of the red. And looks like they've done that. Enough that he can't play it as a run back.
Yeah. Just gonna run the.
Hard to
I
get
went
all
in.
three guards, but not impossible. The way he's playing this, I don't think he's playing that. Looks like he's trying to go more straight back and maybe get something going into the house.
You gotta get two. Get it.
Spot's pretty good.
Might have been a little bit wide on that one.
An inch or two.
No, I just slid.
That's
And
all it takes
again
when
with
you're...
the 4 rock rule, how important hitting 2 rocks are on any peel attempt. And Brock was very clear that they had to hit 2. And I know, like on the score sheet, that would still be marked as 4 points because you can't mark those double peels as doubles per se. So the coaches would know that's a half shot at best. They had to hit 2, if not 3 rocks there.
You got room right now.
We're
You
one.
got a little more room right now.
Dan.
A little more room than you,
I got room.
Dan.
Switch. Here it goes.
We're
Here
one.
it goes. Still
We're
got
one.
switch.
We're good one. We're
Still
good one.
got switch. Dan's in.
We're
Really
just
curling.
two. Just two.
Across center.
Yep, keep going. It's moving. Keep moving it.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Nice.
He's got nice weight on that guard, but didn't get quite as much
We
curl.
make the
And
run.
Brock wants to play a run on the red
the
guard.
red
It's
one.
there.
Yeah, nose. Yep.
Well, a little on that side. We got to net it.
Okay.
Just a fraction high side.
Is that?
Those probably
We need
makes the
about
double,
10,
but you
11.
lose the run back stone as well.
Just a hair off nose.
Drew wants to come down and look at the angle a little bit
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah, just off nose. Right?
9/10.
Okay.
Same thing. So good normal.
What's that? Normal. Good normal.
Easy normal. Good normal.
This is just so much fun having the webcast up on the Jumbotron here at this beautiful Affinity Place. And it's amazing how often the players are taking advantage of having that down ice look while they're back here at their shooting hog line, that they're taking full advantage of checking out angles and rock placement.
That could be a bit of a time saver, you know.
Yep.
It's,
No. Yep. Yep.
you
Yep.
get into a lot of these shots where
Whoa.
there's angles to look at, and
Whoa.
I shouldn't speak for everybody, but as a former skip, you always want to see the angle. So if I was playing third, like Drew was just doing there, I'd want to come down and take a look. And with the overhead, and you see them doing it on the national broadcasts as well, they'll take a quick look at that overhead to see what those angles really look like.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's very helpful. The only thing is sometimes those overhead and our cameras are just a tiny bit deceiving. Not always exactly right. It's easier to see from the other end if it's really complicated.
So a great shot there. You might still look and say 2 yellow rocks are in the rings, but they are no longer on the button in the center line area. So really good outcome here, and some rocks here for the Virtue team to work with when it's their turn to shoot next time.
That was the best possible outcome. It wasn't the way they looked at playing it. They actually clipped the second guard and came straight back off that, but by hitting that far off the nose, they were able to get the shooter out of the way as well.
They've had a few shots like that this game already where Plan B has worked out a little bit better than Plan A.
Yep.
If you knew you could make it that way, you'd probably played it that way all along.
Yeah.
So very nice draw there by Kevin. Keeps the Virtue team on the defensive here by not bringing this into the tee line. You know, as attractive as that button is to try to catch a piece of, it's far more powerful sitting there in the top 4-foot area. Just because you have to throw that little bit more weight at it if you ever do want to get shot rock immediately.
No, quiet hack. No.
The immediate call was heavier than what they were looking for. Lots of room by the guard. And this stone in the 4-foot is actually over buried, so they had to come tight by the guard. Slides through the back. Well, after a nice run back on the first one, Drew Height slides by on his second, and
Mitch was
they could be
already
in just as much trouble again.
Mitch was turning around and walking the other way before that rock ever hit the far hog line.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of fun. You don't even have to watch the rock. I just watch Mitch,
Exactly.
and I know what's happening.
Yeah. Brock's going to have his hand full at the end of, and it's his turn to throw here.
Wow, this is already a tough stone to outdraw.
Yeah.
There's a corner guard out there that when you have to go a little bit wider with draw weight, we already saw it get clipped once this end on a rock that stayed out.
Close. I think
Right
we're
to
there.
it. Pull then down.
A little soft.
Right to
Top
it.
four,
Line's really
top
good.
eight.
Where?
Top
Got
eight.
room. Top 8. Whoa. Room.
Top eight. Just come
Line's
off.
good.
Line's
Lock it on.
Lock it on,
You can
man.
bounce it. Hard, Trent. Hard, guys.
Close.
Hard, right there. Hard. Keep going. Keep
Keep
going.
going. Keep
Go,
going.
go.
That's a nice shot.
Brings that stone in for second shot, just biting the top of the 8-foot.
Well, here's the good news for the Virtue team. With the way this ice curls, you know that you can get fully buried around that one in the top of the 4-foot and get shot.
You can bury it if we're back button. Okay.
78.
Well, I guess the good news is you can bury it, but if he has to be back button, which is what he's
Well, then
saying,
you could follow him down. I was
then
thinking
Colton could follow it down.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you got though. You probably have to play that on this shot and just hope a little bit.
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah,
we don't
if you
have
can.
anything else.
Yeah. Hey, line's good. Want me to help him? T-line, line's good.
He's already got more rotation on this in-turn draw than he's had on a couple that haven't worked out for him. So nice mid-game correction here to throw a more solid stone here.
Gotta finish. Gotta finish. Go, Mitch. Go more. Go.
Good
Well,
shot.
they're on that most of the way down. Pulls it into the side of the button. He is shot rock, but with as much room as he came by those stones with, you got to think Colton Flash can make a play on that.
Yeah.
Probably hack. Hack, yeah. Okay. Just hack. Like even somewhere in here. Like that. Okay, let's go. Like that. Okay.
Normally you might worry a little bit about a possible jam at the back, but you know, that stone at the top 4-foot is so far gone. It's just buried. There's nothing. There's no way to get at it. As long as you get this one out of the 4-foot, I don't see any chance that Brock could still score more than one.
Yeah,
if
I
you're
agree.
throwing just hack it like that. Yeah.
It's good.
Whoa,
Hack.
Hair big.
Whoa.
Hair big.
Big. Whoa there, whoa, it's big. Big. Whoa. 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 Dan. Hard
We're waiting for curl. It didn't get enough on its own, so go with the offside sweep. Try to get a little extra.
Great shot. Hard cam, go.
Does enough to get it out of the 4-foot now. Can he push it far enough to sit a few extra? He is sitting.
Looks like he's sitting
four.
the
It looks
four.
like.
That's the bonus there, as you say. They were, hoping to sit shot anyway.
Yeah, the chances of it being worse than that, he's still got to hit just full 8-foot to cut him down to 1, and he just put a rock on the tee line, so you're not expecting him to miss this. But the fact that it's 4 that he's facing does put that little bit more pressure on.
Well, it's nice that he just threw it.
A little more. Sliver more.
Line's good. You got more line.
Whoa. Don't hurt the line, Jeff.
It looks a little. Line's good.
No, it's not.
Now they're calling more line and more weight.
off.
That's not a good combination.
Just tee.
It's not curling at all.
That's not good either.
No, but it's got backline weight, so.
What are you doing, Drew? Oh, it's trying to.
Well, Brock Virtue's had a couple of struggles with draw weight in this game. He's going to slide right through, and it will be a steal of 4 and handshakes. Colton Flash picks up a 10-4 victory over Brock Virtue here in Thursday morning action A event. He'll move on to the semifinal. Brock Virtue will drop down to play again in the B. Kim Hudson is racing down to ice level, and we'll see if we can catch a word with Colton. That's the second draw. We're only into draw 3, Susan, and that's the second one where we've seen a game end really unexpectedly out of the blue on a draw that slides, in this case, too far. Certainly by the 6th end, these skips all expect to have their draw weight closer than that, and he just made the one on the tee line. Now, we do know that Brock was switching rocks around a little bit, and after you made the first one, in the back of my mind I was thinking I didn't want to jinx him, so I didn't say it, but do you have a matched pair anymore? Because we know he had switched rocks around a couple of times.
Well, that's right. They did think he was a little firmer when he let go, but it'd be nice to get his interval time there, the back line to hog line, to see what the difference in those 2 stones were, if it really and truly was the stone or if it was the throw.
All right, I have Colton down here. I'm talking to you a little sooner than I thought. That was
I wasn't expecting that either. It was a well-played end by us, and got a little fortunate on our last one, on Brock's last one there.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of felt all game that you guys sort of controlled more than the scoreboard indicated.
Yeah, we played really well. We had control all the time. He made 2 hero shots for deuces in both times and gave it to him. But we played very well and controlled the scoreboard at all times.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. What do you do now going forward for the rest of the weekend?
Just continue doing what we always do. Stick to our processes and just continue doing everything that we need to do.
Okay, one further question. I see you've got Bruce Cordy along. How does he add to the team?
Yeah, he's awesome. He comes around, he matches rocks for us and does all the small things for us we need. And he's invaluable. It's awesome to have him around.
Good to hear. How are you finding the rocks?
Rocks are great. I haven't had any issues yet. We've been lucky enough to pick the sets we wanted, but haven't had any issues yet. So they're really good.
Good. Continued good luck. Good game.
Introducing the all-new heated cab for the John Deere 1R tractor. Simply captivating.
Take your Share More plan with you and enjoy worry-free data in the U.S. The all-new Share More Canada and U.S. plan, now available from SaskTel.
Welcome back, everyone. We do have 3 games still on the ice, and we'll quickly update all of the scores here in this morning's draw.
Scott in the 6th end had an open draw, put it in the 8-foot for what they didn't know if 2 was 2 points or not. Won a measurement, picked up 3. Adam Casey, though, has just made a lovely little tap in the 7th end, and they've picked up 2 points for a 7-6 score.
This is our feature sheet, And there was a handshake with that big steal of 4, so make that final score Colton Flash 10 over Brock Virtue 4.
Brent Geddick just made a really nice hit and roll to pick up 2 points here in the 6th end. It's now 5-4, and Brady Kendall still leading the game, though, going into 7.
Over here on sheet 4, we've had a couple of blank ends, so the score still remains the same, 4-3, but Jason Jacobson just made a really nice run back, but we still have 3 skip rocks yet to come.
And we'll turn our attention now to sheet 3. Brent Geddick with the deuce in 6th is closed to within a single point. Still has some work to do and a lot of support behind him.
Yeah, the fans are liking it, that's for sure.
I don't know whether our mics picked it up as you were interviewing Colton, and the cheer went up as Brent made the draw for 2.
Yeah.
So Chad McKenzie here throwing lead for Brady Kendall. Probably a group of players here that maybe a lot of fans are unfamiliar with. A young team here. And I believe they're certainly Brady's first appearance here at the Tankard, and certainly his first as a skip.
All I know is I've been quite impressed with this team. Yesterday and today, they're playing really well. The entire team.
Sometimes beneficial to come in as that younger team. You know, you've got
underdog,
different set of expectations than maybe some of the teams that you're playing, and you can just be that little bit looser and make those shots. But they have certainly been taking it to Brent's team in this game. And Derek Owens going a little deep here is probably indicative of how the game has gone so far for the Geddick squad. So they're hanging in. As I say, they've really struggled, not making a lot of shots, but staying around, and sometimes that's all you need is just be there at the end.
Yeah, anything can happen in the end.
So Cole Tanichuk. That's an aggressive call here. You've got a lead in last rock, and you could peel the center guards here. He's selecting to try to bring another one around.
I don't think they've had an unaggressive call in this game. Like, this is how every end has been playing out.
You know, it's easy to look at the situation in the house and think that, you know, hey, we're in good shape. But really, shot rock's behind the tee line, behind the button. I might have wanted to clean that middle up. You're really not in as good a shape as it looks right now.
Looked like Brady was just trying to tidy that up by getting to the top of the button first, but it didn't work out with Cole's rock just bouncing off the center guard.
A lot of room. Oh, still got lots of line. Off.
Derek Owens, another chance to make this draw, and his weight's closer, but this is not going to make the port.
Well, now there is no port.
Brady, rip the guards. We're in a corner and 2 in the middle right now.
Like which way?
Yeah, but that's the point.
They have to rip right now, pretty much. Like if they're top 4,
okay,
it's pretty good.
You can see why he wants to lose those 2 center guards.
Well,
he's got hammer and
for
everything,
sure.
but he's also looking how those rocks can be ricocheted all around and maybe even hurting him more than just by leaving him there.
We're going to go a little.
Lots of line right now. Lots of line right now.
The other part too is lots of times these calls you're playing to the strength of the team. There's more than just what the textbook says, that you're managing the game as much as you are managing your player. Now Cole's pretty deep on this draw too.
Yep.
So this certainly plays now into Brent's favor.
You got Cole Tanichuk and Anthony Neufeld, 2 young guys, but I know both of them a little bit, and such strong hitters. The double peel is not a difficult shot for them.
Put her on the pin.
You're playing with a little bit of fire to leave all these rocks in play, and of course if you're Brent Geddick, you need to steal here. You're happy. Anytime he doesn't call a peel, you're happy.
Yeah. Where are we going?
So it's always fun watching these younger players, you'd see Cole just leaving the screen there. And, oh, he's known as being a very emotional player. There is no disguising how Cole feels at any particular moment.
Yeah, well, he's disappointed in himself for missing that shot, but...
Mine's good!
I did notice, too,
Mine's
where...
good. Whoa, 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 whoa!
The official, Cole must have tapped his broom on the ice, disgusted that he was so deep on that, but the official came out and said, don't do that again.
Are you heavy? Yes, then, yes. Gotta get by it.
Dino looking for the freeze here.
Yeah, it's Kerwin.
A little bit deep, and they go for the plan B to at least cut the rings down.
You still, if you make that, it's good. Okay. Unless you really like peeling. Okay. You like drawing? Yeah. Speed's real good here, eh? Hold then. Way too hard. Chad's rock.
The stone still has a lot of curling to do. Starting to come now. They got to get at least a sliver under the guards to not leave a double opportunity.
That's actually really good.
Boy, that came over really nice as it was slowing down, and comes to rest top forefoot. His second shot. Don't know if Clint Dino can see enough to maybe try the double. You really have to do something with that stone at top four.
One chance only. What other option is there?
Well, they're looking at the tight port and try to get to that shot stone at the back.
Tap the one he just threw.
And it's a one-shot deal. That's all you've got. So they're going back to looking at the stone that was just thrown, trying to play a tap on that. That's a good call if you can make it. You just actually start to set up a pocket, and then if you had to come through that port on the other side, you could do it with weight. Boy, that intern port looks real tough for draw weight.
Yep. Mine's good,
Clint Dino here with his out turn. Playing the freeze on the first one. Came a little deep. That same weight would be close here.
Whoa, yep, yes, yes, hard, hard, hard.
Boy, they lose the line. It just rubs that stone at the top of the 8-foot and comes in. Well, a big spin at the end to catch a much thicker piece of the 4-foot, but it is still third shot. Brady looking at the hit and roll in.
Control, yeah.
Be tempting to try to clip that one at the back as well.
Big rolls the miss. Anything but nose, really. Okay. I think you can tighten it up then a little. Yeah.
I don't think nose is bad. I heard somebody say anything but nose. I think the only thing you don't want to do is flip to the outside.
Close. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No. Close, yep. Whoa, yep. Whoa. Yep, yep. Whoa, whoa.
Makes the hit, gets the little flop into the button area, and now sits 3. All behind cover.
Well, that's not the first time Anthony's done that in this game. They've been putting the pressure on consistently on the Skedek team. Brent's done nothing but look at Red Rocks all game.
And what he's looking at now is the angle run on that corner guard. For 2 reasons. First of all, he can get rid of a few reds, but he's still got that in-turn draw to the stone at the back of the button, except for the fact that this guard's in the way. So he can open that up at the same time. If you hit this right, you could get... Boy, you know, I think if you hit it absolutely perfect, you could get all 4 of the reds to fly. Certainly get 3 of them moving anyway.
Well, just to get anything off the center line would be a big help here for
He'd
Brent.
love to get the 3 stones in front of the tee line moving, at least. They don't have to die. They just have to get out of the way, kind of, so to speak. But if you could run that yellow on the right side as we were looking at it there, the left here, run it pretty much dead into that stone at the top 8 foot. It's going into something at the back. I'll tell you what, with the crowd in attendance and these young kids, we won't have to, I don't actually have to look to know how the shot turns out because they'll let us know.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Close. Yep. Close. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Makes the hit on the guard, jams it into the first one, and moves a couple of them around. It does look to still be Kendall sitting 3. And a little unfortunate there for Brent Geddick in moving that many stones around. He still leaves 2 of them in a pretty bad spot for him.
His only shot right now become this way and tap, right? Yeah. If we leave this side open. Well, he's got this. He's sitting right here, though, right? Yeah, he'd be in a pretty good spot.
One more look at that. Just a little thin on the first one, actually. Probably needed to, you know, they were waiting on the line on that one. Actually, probably needed to hit the first one just a little bit thinner so that first jam is thicker.
Yeah. He's throwing this. This goes onto that, and we're still scoring 3.
Well, and the thing is, too, is Anthony had the in. Anthony was pointing out that in off, and there was a really nice pocket to save the shooter on that shot if it was there, but now with the rocks being rearranged, it's made that shot even more difficult.
So they're looking at coming into the top 8, kind of take away his draw path on this side, and if they could do that, probably all Brent's going to have left is to play a thin wick on that stone in the top 12 foot on the side and try to come across into shot rock. Actually, it's probably possible you could get this deep enough to take that away too.
Just fully. Line's good. Easy, boys. A little tight, so line's fine. Just here, boys. No deeper than
Still
here.
got a lot of room by the guards. Starting to really curl now. Going to come right down onto the corner of his own, and now sitting 4. There's Brent Geddick talking about coming off the outside red. That might be all he's got. Come across onto the stone that was just thrown. And you might be able to kill 2 of the stones out of the 4 foot and sit corner frozen on the other one. That might be your best shot.
Yeah, that's pretty gruesome when you need a great shot just to try to hold teams to 2.
But then you're way over here. We'll never get to it.
Well, it won't be a gimme for the second point either, but it's you've got to make that.
Really
He's talking about running it in. I think you play in off of it.
Get to the back here and sit here.
Well, we can play at redirect.
It's too hard. Any touch on these and we're wide open.
Some of this is a little bit scoreboard dictated. They're still trying to find a way to get in for shot rock, but
here, sit. We're going to eliminate one of them.
They're just
I think you can
trying to
eliminate
stay
2 if you
alive
play
for
that.
They're just trying to stay alive for the 8th end, basically. Is
they're gone, yeah. 5 and 6 are gone. Comes off the back, 5 rolls over here.
I think that's all he's got. Clint said it at the same time as I did. It's all you got.
Okay. Number 2 peel.
And to make this as complicated as it is, it's also just the fact that when you hit that second stone, if you spin it all, you could actually still sit open, and there'd be a shot for at least 3, I think. It's not just a case of coming across and making those stones move. You have to sit right there.
As a thrower, it's never a really good feeling when you know all you're doing is limiting the damage here.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it triple to hold you to 2.
Yeah.
And in off.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Going to be a little thick on the first one. Comes across, does nudge a couple, but Brady Kendall already sitting 4. This is going to be a draw for 5. Needs just a little better than full 8 foot.
Yeah, that was a pretty tough situation for Brent there.
And really not that far from making the shot, but that's the problem when you're in that much trouble. Close isn't good enough.
No, that end set up very nicely by Anthony with the draw, and then that hit and roll into the side button there really put the spike in. Both teams having multiple chances to draw into that top button area, and lots of rocks ended up there in the back 8 foot, but Kendall's team made it first.
One's going. Easy. Take a look.
So Brady Kendall with his final stone here, and in number 7 already has 4 in his pocket, looking to grab a piece of the 4 foot perhaps and pick up 5.
Time's fine.
So Brady Kendall, another front end player, making a great adjustment to playing skip here, and a great showing in his second game.
Now with a 10-4 lead, the gloves come off. It will be handshakes. We've got another final. We'll be back right after this to keep you up to date on the final 2 games.
The crown jewel has been stolen. For almost 40 years, it has been kept far from its home. Saskatchewan. The time has come. So don your green and will your team back to glory. This Tim Hortons Briar. Be there for history in the making.
White Ice, the ice paint people, set out to develop a very specific ice paint product that would satisfy the needs of the professional ice maker in both hockey and curling. White Ice was successfully formulated and tested, and distribution began in 1988 and has since expanded their line of products and services to meet the needs of today's professional ice makers. White Ice is distributed by Eastside Paint and Wallpaper in Saskatoon, who is also a signature Benjamin Moore paint dealer. White Ice and Eastside Paint and Wallpaper, defining the game.
Welcome back, everyone. I'll quickly update you on all of the scores here in this A event action on Thursday morning.
We are just finishing up the 8th end here. Adam Casey's throwing his last rock, drawing against 2 bit stones, one of which is top corner of the button. Adam trying to draw out of trouble, and it looks like, here we go, Scott will have a draw for 3. I don't think he made it in quite far enough, so Scott's got an open draw to the 8 foot to try to go up 10-6. Thanks, Kerry, for switching over.
Maybe just stick with this here and see what happens with this draw. If he can make this, that would give him a 10-6 lead, and we may see another final.
Casey looked like he'd had a steal going most of this end, but nice shot by Warren, then followed up by Scott on his first one. Cleared everything up, and Adam wasn't able to answer with his final rock there.
We talked a little bit before the break with some of the shots that Brent Geddick was having to play and the uncomfortable feeling. Adam Casey there trying to just freeze that stone to hold Scott to a difficult draw for 2, but...
Well, Scott's not light on this one.
Yeah, no, the sweepers haven't...
been real close.
That's not the escort you'd like to see from your sweepers.
No, and then when you see the opposition skip lining up on the tee line to get the broom out, so Scott pretty upset with himself there. Still takes away 2 points.
Deuce.
Well, that keeps that game still going.
Continuing on with our updates now.
Final score on our feature sheet was 10-4, Flash over Virtue.
And we just saw the game here between Brady Kendall and Brent Geddick wrap up there with that big 5-ender by Brady, and so that's a 10-4 final.
All right, and just to let everyone know, the score here right now is 6-3 Laycock over Jacobson. So Matt Dunstone throwing his last rock here, 3 up, playing the double. Or, sorry,
all
3
4
up
skip
playing.
stones left to play.
Oh, I can't even see the other end. You're right, it's his first skip stone, so we got a ways to go. Anyway, 4 rocks in the rings, nothing else in play right now.
And we're going to stick with this through the skip stones as well.
Oh, good. Well,
We're
then we're going to
probably
see
at-
the house soon.
Probably at the point with the first two finals that we've seen so far where the team without Last Rock doesn't want us featuring them right now. because
Yeah,
it's
you're
been
right.
big scores that have ended games early here.
Yeah. All right, there we can see the house. So we got 3 Laycock yellow right in there.
That Dunstone makes the hit, rolls in.
No triple, though.
No, didn't roll quite far enough for that.
Yeah.
You can see where Matt Dunstone is really settling in with his role on the team, watching, at the Olympic trials on TV when Laycock was featured. That was still so new. They were still working out so many details, and Matt just looked a little unsettled there, especially with his draw weight. But boy, oh boy, he hasn't missed anything in his 2 games out here to start the Saskatchewan tankard. So it just seems like every competition they have, they're getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes it just takes time.
Jason Jacobson with his first stone here, looking to make a double, but it's going to be real hard not to leave a double back.
Well, I think it's almost impossible.
Well, he's going to throw some weight here. He'll try to roll, make
Yeah.
the double and roll, but even a flat double is still a double opportunity. And he might have been tight on this. He's got to hit this on the broom side to roll away. He might not even get both of them going.
Still yellow sitting 2.
Well, it's not absolutely horrible because the red yellow
Yeah, I see what you're looking at.
probably clips the back yellow.
I don't think it's going to be left that way, though.
No, that's why you've got Matt and Steve looking at making a play on that
Yeah.
stone. It's the one that could hurt them yet.
So Matt Dunstone there are the coaches, Lyle Myers on the left, Laurie Burrows on the right. So Matt Dunstone, for those of you that follow Manitoba curling, has had a phenomenal junior career, CIS university career, and he's 2-time Canadian junior champion, and he's got a silver medal in that collection also. So he's just a great shooter. Always has been a strong, confident player.
Ooh.
Makes the hit and does manage to get by both of his own stones. I think there was a little concern there. He was going to clip one of them.
Yeah.
Now for Jason Jacobson, you're down 3. How important is it to get 2 here in the 9th end? Because really your only shot to do it is probably the
That's
run
tough.
wick double.
Yeah.
But to just play for 1 means you got to steal 2 in 10. So I think you have to play it, do you not?
Gosh, I don't know your answer.
Yeah, because to just make the straight double and try to hang your shooter on the edge of the 12 for your second point I don't think that angle's there looking at this.
There.
So they're just verifying that they really don't think it's there.
Wow.
You can see Jake putting his broom on where you'd have to hit that yellow, and to have enough weight to move the 2 yellows and keep your shooter is probably not possible.
Yeah. This is easier,
this
but
shot's
define
there.
easier. Yeah, I agree. It's there.
But it's not easy. Even if you weren't playing it as a raise, if you just took that rock out of the way and just had to play this thin double,
thin double,
it's a very tough double because it's so thin. Then add in the complication of the fact that you have to do it with a raised stone.
I guess your question goes back to, do you play it, do you not? It goes back to the game. How you guys have been playing, how the opposition has been playing. Have you stole? What do you think your chances are?
Well, do you have a chance to steal 2 in the 10th?
I don't know.
I'd
say it's slim pickings.
I think you have to play it.
Yeah, I probably would lean that way as well.
You see with that broom placement, he's playing the out turn at it too, and you know, that makes it a little tougher to get the angle right, but on the other side, the raised stone will take the in-turn, which actually makes it easier to get your
thin,
using the gear effect, get that thin roll and still come back straight enough to get the back one.
These are all so close together, though. Okay.
Nothing out of the brushers yet. Has to cross the face a little bit.
Not even getting up to it yet.
Not up to that center line yet. Going to drive that by everything. It'll be a steal of 2 and handshakes once again. Steve Laycock will move on. The 8-3 victory to play in an A semifinal later on today. And that drops Jason Jacobson down to the B, and now just 1 game left to be decided here this morning.
So as you were referencing, sorry, geez, too many words all at once. I was just looking at the possible matchups here. So we do know that Steve Laycock is going to play Brady Kendall tonight at 7 o'clock, and Colton Flash is waiting for the winner here of the Bits Casey game.
It's a 9 o'clock in the morning draw. Susan, do I have to check your coffee already?
Thank goodness the volunteer brought me a new one. Can you imagine what would happen if he hadn't?
I saw that. Wonderful Tim Hortons coffee. We've been treated very well by the volunteers. Well, not just us. I think everybody. It's been a fantastic event so far. Great volunteers.
Adam Casey has a few things working for him here in the 9th end. Already sitting 3. Pardon me, it's Bits sitting 3. Bits is throwing yellow. I've got them backwards as to who's throwing which here. So Adam Casey looking to come through this port and sit on shot rock.
Through the port, just not by the top one. Oh, he is.
He is by the top one.
Yeah.
See, now he's got things working his way.
There you go. So the Bits team just playing the freeze down to that one.
Scott Bits would love to get a force here, but he won't be too upset if it ends up being a deuce either. That would still leave him 1 up with coming home.
Yes, I agree, and you see that very often in the 3-up play in 9. Deuce is very easy to give up. Nice shot by Warren Jackson.
I think he actually did rub that one on the way by, which he probably needed to do, because if it gets by, he just over curls it altogether.
Yeah. And we have a timeout.
I think this is their first time out. I haven't seen Coach Jeff come out yet, so. And we can't see their time clocks. I don't know if there's any issue, but they have been playing ahead of pace for most of this game. So I have to just assume that they're okay for time.
Yeah, I don't think it's a time issue. This is a difficult situation, because with where that rock ended up, Scott Bits could promote it onto shot stone. There's not really much you can do to stop that, though. You need a deuce here. So where do you put this next stone?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you come around with the out turn?
They're looking at that. You'd love to be able to move that yellow, but how do you do it?
But how?
What he's looking at there is to play basically heavy draw, just wick it over and come to the back 4 foot that way, just to at least change the angle. That yellow-red angle is really good for Scott Bits, and so by definition then really bad for Adam Casey.
Yeah.
All the talk looks like it's about playing that little wick and roll over.
Right, but with the way it curls, how do you do that coming through that port?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's the weight that they're going to have to throw, and they'll have to be back line-ish. Even if you make it, I don't know if you can save the shooter, really.
It's a little difficult just because we're at such an angle, but looking at the monitor, I certainly agree.
So for those of you that were watching who was all in the house, that's Brock Montgomery, who was in conferencing there with Adam. Brock curling third this year. Caitlin Schneider left the team in order to go join John Morris and Brent Cotter there out of BC, and that left the vacancy at third, so they picked up Brent here from Brock from Moose Jaw here, and it's been a fabulous choice. Well, everybody knows Brock's just a great curler and a great teammate.
On the sweep on this one right away, might have been just a hair inside.
Sean Meacham, Justin Kidby on the sweep here. See if
Makes
Brock
the thin
can hang
contact on that,
for
does clip
shot
the
rock. He
red.
does.
And looks like he hangs on to sit 2.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
both behind cover.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but
I think.
Chance to nestle in.
Well, follow down, right?
Yeah, if you could make the same draw again, you'd be shot and impossible to
Well,
remove.
yeah, there's a wall back there, but that's not what they're playing, so there's obviously something else. They're going to come around with the in-turn through there, are they?
Well, it's a tougher draw with the out-turn for sure because of that stone at the top of the 8 foot.
Top 8, yeah.
And actually, I still think Warren rubbed on his. So they don't have that same issue on this one. In fact, that red stone, if anything, is poking out a little bit in the open, so they can actually over-curl the guard and still make the freeze.
Yeah.
Warren's in the house and looking up at the Jumbotron. You're going to get a better look at the angle from where you are, Warren.
Yeah, don't look at the Jumbotron.
Unless he's checking to see if his hair is perfect,
Jimmy.
which it always is. Brushers wanted to go, but they're waiting on the line, so now going from the offside, trying to get some more curl.
Just not necessarily the weight there.
Not able to pull that into the 4 foot to get second shot out of it, so it's still Adam Casey sitting 2.
Not an easy shot for 3.
How do you get in for the third one?
Well, the same way Warren Jackson did. If you
Well,
have to rub off that top one, hair it, I guess. But
And then the next part of the question is, after you do, how do you do it so that you don't leave Scott Bitts a chance to maybe move 2 or 3 of them? You'd hate to bring this one in right now and leave a triple, which if you sat in the hole, you might. So you cannot afford to rub off anything here. You've got to get by the 2 stones, 2 yellow stones, the one at the top of the 8 foot and the one on the side of the 4. They were on this one early as well. Backing away now, but it's still on that outside guard.
yeah, got a curl.
Well, he threw the weight where they had to sweep early, and that early sweep might have killed the line a little bit. Doesn't get off the guard, and Scott Bitts 2 choices. No hesitation here. He's going to play the out turn now that the hole's a little bigger. He could very easily play the same shot he just threw and tap it up. He's got a little more room now on that side.
But he just watched Adams Rock come down, so I think they've got a pretty good idea of the line here.
They played it a couple of times this end as well.
You got a wall back there. You get through the hole. Well, as long as you don't over curl, but you get through the hole.
I don't know if you want to think about the wall, because I'm looking at thinking, if you're short, how does he score more than 2?
Yeah, but you come back to that wall, you force him to 1. There's nothing else there.
You bump anything and leave it in the hole.
So they're yelling T-line. Now they're saying sort of back 8, back 4 foot. It's not light.
Appears to be through the hole.
Now starting to curl.
Yeah.
Boy, look at the finish on that. That came by the top of the 12-foot, splitting the center line, and he dead freezes on that rock on the corner of the 4-foot.
I think from the angle it looks like yellow shot.
I think so, because Adam Casey's first thought was to play the wick double, which would still only be for 2. There's no shot for 3 there. He's going to have to lose the back red, or lose it enough that it won't be shot rock anyway.
Well, and Scott got by that yellow corner by the amount that Casey bumped it over on his first one too, so that was an unfortunate wreck there for Adam.
Well, this is a pretty thin, almost like a redirect, but it's what you're left with.
Well, this is what we saw Adam do all last year when they rolled through the Saskatchewan tankard. Adam just made everything.
If he's a little thick on the first one, because there's 2 yellows over there, he can probably roll over and still get 1. If he doesn't get into the side of that second yellow, I don't think he moves it far enough to get the second point.
So he's throwing some really big weight here. It's got to be close.
Makes the hit, comes across, does get the second of it, and very unfortunate on the spin. It's going to roll out of the 4-foot, and it's just a single point for Adam Casey.
Great try.
Yeah, you wouldn't think there was any way you could hit it too thin.
Not at
all. So it's just 1 point, and Scott Bitts will have a 2-point lead. And last rock as we play the 10th.
Get on your game with Asham Curling Supplies. Customize your slide with the all-new Express Ultralight and Club Shoe, featuring the style, comfort, and performance you expect from Asham. Sweep the competition with our Pro Grip gloves and ultralight carbon fiber, composite, and fiberglass handles, plus World Curling Federation approved pads.
Hey folks, I'm Arnold Asheman. For 39 years, our product has been satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Asham Curling Supplies, online, in-store, and at your club.
As Canada's grain industry leader, Viterra and its employees are connected to their communities across Western Canada. Through its community investment program, Viterra supports a wide variety of causes and initiatives, including those focused on sports and recreation that encourage teamwork, integrity, and high performance. These same values guide Viterra's employees when providing farm customers with trusted advice and quality service. Viterra is a proud sponsor of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, just before this 10th end gets started, we'll quickly update all of the scores here in this A event action on Thursday morning. Susan?
So Scott Bitts is going to be defending a 9-7 lead here going into the 10th end. Adam Casey needs to steal 2 to tie.
Make the final score 10-4, Flash over Virtue on sheet 2.
Just like sheet 2, sheet 3 has a 10-4 score with that big 5-ender that the Brady Kendall team took in the 7th to defeat Brent Geddick.
And Steve Laycock wins his game 8-3 over Jason Jacobson.
And the first guard thrown up a little off the center line. Don't know if that was by design. It might have been. You do see some of the teams when they're in a situation of trying to steal 2, which is what they need to do here just to get to an extra end. Their thought process being that the easiest way to steal 2 might be to sit 3 and hope for a rollout.
Hope for a miss, yeah.
And it does, by spreading out these spreading out the guards onto the corners, it does make the double peels a little bit tougher.
So Dustin Kidby trying to will his rock to stop short of the rings here, and it does.
Scott Bitts tried the tick on the first one. We're just going to play the throw through here. Of course, with those 2 guards being on the angle that they're at, you know there's going to be some kind of double peel available.
Yeah. So it was Rory Golanowski getting the free throw there. And just in case you're wondering, if you see the jacket and it says Kleider on the back and you go, boy, that doesn't look like Dean. Well, it isn't. They're just using Dean's jacket as that's who had curled with Scott last year.
Kim had a chance to talk to Scott yesterday, and for those of you who were with us, and he did point out they haven't played that much this year, so apparently didn't feel it was worth getting a new jacket for the other guy till they see how he works out.
Yeah, exactly. He's still under
we got this new guy
contract negotiations.
Yeah, who's ever heard of this Rory guy, hey?
Yeah, where'd he come from? But you know, that's what makes playing at provincials in like as Scott's team right now, there's no pressure. It's just fun, you know, happy to be here. And sometimes when you're playing loose like that, you can really get on a roll and start playing well.
Well, Scott played well last year at the provincials too, and in his interview with you, he's just said how nice this ice is to play on, and it just makes a real joy to be out here. There you go.
And there's the double peel.
Just like that. Nice shot by Aaron.
It's amazing how much easier those are when you're 2 up with coming home.
Yep.
You can't seem to buy them when you really need them in a tight game. This certainly makes the job more difficult for the Casey team. You need to steal 2 if you were thinking that the easiest way to do that was to sit 3. It's pretty hard to do that with no guards.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was second player, Sean Meacham, putting that rock in position.
Just a little surprised they played it that direction because it gives Aaron Schmidt the chance to play the peel towards that stone in the rings. I would have thought perhaps you try to guard the stone in the rings and hope that on the attempted peel they get it just off the nose. Drives it by everything.
So Adam calling this.
Now they're changing
there
it up.
There we go.
Well, he's still throwing it as a guard. He was just showing them what a spot that he wanted to end up guarding. He's still not looking for a direct guard on that stone. Looking to guard a spot about a rock's width over from that stone, and I guess perhaps hoping that you can tempt Scott Bitts to try to get both of them, and maybe he jams it and stays for a corner guard. There really is no strategy handbook on what you do in this situation because you need some misses.
No, you need misses, so it's...
You need misses on what are really rather routine shots.
Yeah.
You can't even hope it picks a hair anymore because hair brooms
there are no hair.
Are all gone.
Oh.
And
just when we were talking.
Yeah. A little bit of hope now for Adam Casey, chance to come around the guard. You're back in that situation where you might get the chance to sit 3 at least. Brock Montgomery will look to come around. He's got a lot of room by the guard so far. You got to bury this one.
There we go. Once it comes off the line, it's really catching the finish. Great sweep by Dustin.
Brings that into the 8-foot. Scott Bitts wants to know what Warren likes. I think you have to play the peel towards the stone at the edge of the 4-foot. But that's why it was important to bury that. You don't bury that. He tries to double on the rocks in the rings. Makes the hit.
Oh,
just by
how do you
the
go
stone
between those two from that angle?
Shooter stays in play, but it's well off to the side. I'm not sure if you buried behind it if you'd even be in the rings.
Yeah, I'd like to get the protractor out there to find out how many millimeters he actually had to work with to get through.
So now for Adam Casey, again, he wants to sit 3 when Scott Bitts throws his last one. So the question is, where do you put this one so you don't leave a double?
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, that's the thing. That really, there's a double there now. It's thin, but it's there. So I'm looking where he put the broom, and I'm thinking maybe he's trying to move that stone in the top of the 8-foot and try to leave no good angles that way.
Well, they're discussing it at this end, but we don't have mics on these guys, so we're not totally sure. We can try to interpret. Looks like
Brock
they're going to go
down
around.
at the other end is indicating maybe they're going around that one.
Yeah.
Adam saying back 4 is where he's targeting for this shot.
So they're hoping that maybe they can talk Scott into playing the straight back double, and again, hoping for a jam.
Yeah, exactly. And then you lob another one right around. Then you have to hope for a miss.
Yeah, you still need a miss on the last.
Yeah.
Well, you need a half shot on the first one and a miss on the last one.
Right.
That's basically where you're at right now.
So he's saying back 8's okay, trying to get the line here. Oh, that died. That just picked on something.
That picked hard, and now those front two are very close together for the double attempt. For Scott Bitts, if you can make a double on the first one, all you need to do on your second one is make something go away.
It makes it a lot easier.
Well, that was going back 8. All of a sudden, it wasn't.
Yeah, hard to know. We haven't seen a lot of games make it all the way to the conclusion of 10 ends so far, and could it be a little flat in the middle and maybe just fudge down, and that's all it takes, a little bit of flat spot, and the edge grabs it, and it just takes a spin and stops pretty quick. Scott Bitts with his first stone here would love to make the double. Brusher's just cleaning it. Makes the hit, but jams the second stone.
Yeah, sitting 2.
Well, again, a little bit more life now for Adam Casey. Scott Bitts will still have an open hit available for his last one, but
well, unless they go there, it'd still be an open hit, I guess. But you got to make the double or roll in, whatever the case.
So opting to leave Scott the double and hope for a jam like they just had there versus tucking in behind that yellow one that Scott left up there, and that virtually gives Scott a lot more room to work with on the open hit to only give up 1 even. So Adam just saying full 8 is where he wants on this one.
Well, we can keep our eye on the slide path here. As this comes in, it's going to be coming in over center line as well.
Sweeper's backed away a little bit. You got to be in enough to be third shot, but you want some separation between these stones too.
And you don't want it so that if you end up having to nose this and jam it, that your second shot, which is what's going to happen too.
Yeah, just came in that little bit too far.
Yep.
Scott Bitts will just have a chance for the nose hit here. Now, I mean, it's no different than had he drawn behind the yellow. Scott Bitts has to stay here.
Correct. Yeah.
He's not going to get the top one out, so if he rolls out, we'll be headed to an extra end. Warren Jackson takes one last look to check his hair and in the Jumbotron. What else could he be looking for? He can see the angle. He's standing right over the rocks.
So Scott just throwing nice control weight, has to keep this shooter in play.
Clean is what I hear. That's always a good sign.
Well, now they've gone from the offside to get a little bit more curl. Gets the hit. Shooter does
Just
stay right
makes
there.
it.
It will be a steal of 1, but that's not enough for Adam Casey. It'll be Scott Bitts with a 9-8 victory. Scott Bitts will move on to the A semifinal, and Adam Casey, the defending champion, drops down to the B, and that concludes all of the action here this morning. The players are off now to the luncheon, and the next draw will be 3 o'clock, so we hope you join us then.